Hello and welcome, everyone. Oh, what up?
Instant question.
Oh no!
That beautiful video that you made at the top, it says 3/22/16. Was that the first day we did a first podcast?
Yes.
Oh my god!
I'm so glad because you're the only one that's asked.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why is it 2016? And I look at the date. So for anybody that doesn't know, I was one of there were three of us, and we all started this on that date, 3/22/2016.
Yep, we sure did. And I'm so glad you asked because I literally just texted you. I said, I need to make an intro video that has your name in it now that you're on here as often as, you've already been on here twice since we've come back. So I need to have one with your name on it. But welcome, everyone. I am Travis, and today I'm joined by Jonathan Maxwell, one of the original members, as I had in my show notes, but he stole my thunder. And he is the creator of Nostalgia Unboxed podcast and my best friend. And and he's joining me today. So thank you very much. And today is Wupset episode 134 of Nerds with Mics. And today we're talking about the pure, sweet goodness of nostalgic memories. Not only our memories, but your memories as well.
That's right.
So, and I cannot wait. Jonathan and I were talking earlier yesterday. And, I've been watching a lot of his content and really thinking about things from my childhood. And it just really got me thinking about nostalgia in general. And him and I was talking, we thought it'd be really fun just to hash out some nostalgic memories, but not only ours, but we'd love to hear not only from our viewers, but also yours as well, Maxwell. So, but without further ado, is there anything that you want to say in opening before we get into what we've been up to?
Well, I love everybody. Big time, real big time. Love you tremendously. And I am just like overwhelmed with how many incredible people responded to the questionnaire. We sent out the questionnaire earlier today. We did not give anybody really any time to get on this. And we have a lot of responses, which will make this episode potentially long because we are two chatty Cathys with nobody to tell us to shut up.
Nope, not at all. And I want to thank everybody from our podcast on our side. I know this is kind of a joint effort, but you guys came out in droves. Maxwell made a post, listed a quick YouTube video, and then I watched it go from about 8 responses to over 50. And I think that just speaks to the volumes of your following and the culture that not only that you have helped created, but also that community as well. So I think that's really, really awesome. I did want to put on this comment on the screen if you want to call that one out.
Oh yeah, good old classic Moscato bot. For anybody that doesn't go to that channel and watch and have fun and laugh at a naughty little boy playing with his toys, you got to check him out. He's also one of my bestest friends.
Yeah, and we got all kinds of comments coming in right now. Also, somebody stole my thunder, but I do want to give them credit for stealing your thunder because I had this. But happy birthday, Maxwell! I didn't want to let this go unnoticed. I will not say your age, although I know it. But your ripe old age of 29 and holding. So
Yeah, 10 years experience on that.
and I wanted to show our viewers and also let our listeners know that there are two things I'll be bringing you in July. One of those being some things from the 90s. One of the, oh, crap.
Yeah, there he goes with the green screen. Already failed.
Boom. No, boom. This retro Spider-Man Venom. And then you also have the Uncanny Wolverine still in box. Both these babies will be coming your way.
Minty fresh. I can smell the mint freshness.
When I come to see you in July. And see, now you see, I really just live in a closet. That's how this works. But there we go. Now I'm back. And for those of you, if you needed any nightmare fuel before we get started, let me hit you with one of these. I know Maxwell loves this. I showed it to him and he about immediately disconnected, but that's okay.
Yeah,
but anyways,
mentally disconnected. But for anybody that is listening to this through the podcast, only audio realm, it's worth heading over to YouTube or Facebook and watching that because you will enjoy it very much.
Yes, absolutely. So let's go ahead and quickly get into what you've been up this week. And as you're talking, I'm just going to throw up some of these responses that's come through as you're kind of going through your week, because we have a lot to cover and a lot of ground to make up here. So while you're talking, I'm going to fill in some comments here. So go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm talking and you're putting up the chatty responses.
Yes.
Already filled out my response. Yes, we had a lot of people filling out their responses, and then I checked YouTube right before, and we had some people that didn't make it, but I invited them to watch the stream and let us know what those memories were. So Marley, as always, knows it's podcast time. She's in the background. That's your dog, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know. So what I've been up to is the same crap every day of my life, which is focusing heavily on my content, my channel, and then creating new things. So I spend a lot of time designing stuff and then selling things to the people, the people, the great people, whether it's these little arcade games. So there's some people that probably haven't seen these things yet, right? So these arcade machines, that's just taking an old Fortnite arcade, the toy thing that has Fortnite, and then just designing all the stuff for it. But I got a couple of very custom ones. This is good. Dead air is always good, especially in the audio realm. So this is Larry the Looter, which is from an early episode of The Simpsons. And I had to draw all these things out. There's a lot of good references from the show, but of course, screen grabs from old episodes are really low quality. But I had to draw it all out myself and make this one of a kind, essentially. And it sold out today, so that's exciting. So if anybody wants one of these, sorry that I just showed them off.
Well, that is super unfortunate for the people that really want one of those, for sure.
So sad thing is when you're going through there and you're popping those chats up is that I don't get to see them. So I do want to say thank you to everybody that has said happy birthday. I am 39 for anybody that is wondering, not 50 as Justin said. Justin Fleming in the chat is one of our well, not ours, it's one of your all's show hosts. It's usually Travis and Justin, and it used to be the three of us. Happy birthday, Undercover. Thank you so much. And Thomas Goes Nostalgic. Excellent diorama maker. I always talk about that every time his name pops up. Got to make sure people know if they need a diorama to hit him up. He just did the whole Channel 6 tower. He's got one floor left, but the Channel 6 news tower from the Ninja Turtles, He's been working on every single floor, and it's incredible.
Wow,
Yeah,
super impressive.
very much.
And then I got this last one popped up here. Here, you want to read that one from Pizza Gives?
I remember
Me.
getting a mutating Raphael and immediately shoving the ooze canister up my nose. And my dad had to dig it out with tweezers. I also remember finding out Santa isn't real. So I wonder, at that time when that canister had to come out of your nose, had you seen the movie? What's it? Total Recall. Because that's the only thing I can picture right now is you just as a canister is getting pulled out of your nose. I love it to death.
Yes, absolutely. Well, what else you got going? Anything else?
No, I don't think so. Birthday did that. Haven't really watched anything. Wait, that's
I
not
like how
true.
you said birthday did that, and that's today.
Yeah, still today doing it, actively doing it. Had a delicious cake from the lady, a girlfriend, Amaris. But what was a movie that maybe or maybe not? Oh, is on Plex. Dungeons and Dragons. Nope. Is that it? Yes.
Yes.
I started second guessing myself.
Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah, that's the subtitle I was missing. That was great. That was a
Yeah.
fun movie.
Yeah, it really was.
Better than what the trailer made it look, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I went and saw that movie in theaters, and I like the route that they took of just kind of more like they were still in the lore, but it was kind of modern as well with like the humor and just that type of stuff. So I thought it was really well done.
Hey, Travis.
Honestly. Yeah.
What have you been up to?
You know what? I have been up to things. So obviously finished the Ted Lasso finale, which we will not get into. And somebody immediately was like, no spoilers. I'm still watching. Yep. I think you're referring to the movie, but we're not going to get into any spoilers unless it's from the 90s. And if it's from the 90s, there is a band that is like lifted on that. So that's sorry about your luck. I watched the Ted Lasso finale. I dove back into Hogwarts Legacy, trying to finish that because I finished Hi-Fi Rush last week. And then after that, I'm moving either to Tears of the Kingdom or the new Diablo. And then I also went and saw a new movie. You may have heard of it. Not Into the Spider-Verse, the second one yet, unfortunately. I plan on doing that probably tomorrow. But the new Little Mermaid movie, which was pretty great, I must say. Yeah, no, it was really good. I know there's a lot of controversy kind of surrounds like live action remakes and things like that. But honestly, it was good. I liked it.
My only controversy
is
that they changed Ariel to real instead of a cartoon. No, I just don't like that the story's the same. Essentially, I know there's going to be some minor changes, but it's like I already saw that story. Give me that weird stuff like Maleficent. Now you share your story idea that you had the other day when we talked on the phone.
About what?
Little Mermaid. I think you shared an alternative story that you think would have been better, didn't you?
I don't know. It wasn't me.
Like a retelling. Didn't you say that who was it then? That said they'd love to see Ursula's story. Like maybe she wasn't really that evil and do like a Maleficent take.
It must be your other best friend.
My other best friends were telling me good stories. And
yeah, unfortunately that was not me, but that was a great idea. I'd watch that 100%. But anyways, that is okay. Yeah, we will not talk about D&D. Don't you worry about it. But it is great, worth a watch. But that's all that I have been up to. And we wanted to really keep our week short because we have a lot to talk about. Anything, and we're going to save our stories for the end because we really want to get into what everyone else's is. That's what I'm more excited to see. I read through them briefly enough to know there weren't troll comments being put in because I obviously didn't want to give them the time of day. But I didn't read through them very much because I wanted to kind of experience these in real time. And I think Maxwell did the same thing. So without further ado, let's get into them. Now, we were thinking about how to do this because we wanted to give people shout out names, but I think honestly, we're just going to share our responses and just go through them one by one. I think that's probably the best thing, but feel free to keep chatting in as we do this because obviously we want some responses from you all as well. Oh, that is not nod of approval. This is my first time podcasting. All right, so let's bring this in and there we go. All right, so the first one is Maxwell. You want to start us off with this one?
You know what? I think I do.
All
So
right.
we got NateZilla04 over on Twitter. Now, this was one that I had to paste in, I think, this morning because I just got the response in Twitter. They didn't fill out the form, which is totally fine. I'm just happy to have engagement and hear from people's stories. Now, I can't scroll because that's your screen. So this is going to be a
Yes.
bit of a awkwardness. So if
No,
you don't
it's
mind.
I got you. I present for a living, so it's okay.
All right. Well, can you scroll down then?
Well, do you need to see the rest of it? Because it's just. Oh, my bad. I thought you.
All I
I
see is the
I
title.
am an idiot. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. There you go.
All right. So Nate over on Twitter said for his nostalgic moment or memory of all time. When I was a kid, my uncle had a massive toy collection, including a few turtles I could not seem to find as a 6-year-old. Ended up sneaking his Slash figure. Still have and cherish to this day, 30 years later. Sometimes crime does pay. Now, I did ask for a follow up, and he did share the picture of the Slash. And then he said specifically that the G.I. Joes, he had to go kind of Ocean's 11 on to get those things out.
Oh crap. That's that's a full blown heist, is what
Yeah.
it sounds like. And
Yeah. He
I
needed a
love
lot of friends and somebody that could fold up into a box, I guess.
yes, and I absolutely love that. So all right, so for the next one, we got a response sent in, and I think this is also one of your followers as well.
Listen, if it's turtles, it probably is.
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah, I get a lot of turtle people, and I'm here for it.
And for people that you're used to saying, I would just prefer you say their name, and then I'll read the story because I don't want to botch it.
Well, we'll probably both botch them.
Okay.
Botulism.
So Utrom XTMNT Universe is what I'm going to say. These are exactly how they were written in. Now, if I don't say it that way, that's on me. So we'll just get that out of the way. But yes, this one says, I guess you could call this an origin story. I already love this. All the way back in 1984. Shout out to 1984 babies. Let's go. Like most kids, I wanted to get into comics. My dad took me to South Atlanta Comic Shop. Oh, this is somebody that's in Atlanta as well. Very cool. Maybe not now, but as a child. So they took him into the comic shop and told me I could get one book. So I looked and looked, passing by Spider-Man, Batman. If I could get only one comic, it needed to be special. I remember being overwhelmed because they all looked the same. The shop owner saw I was having trouble and brought a book over to me and said, "Hey, take a look at this." It was larger than other books, and the pages were unique, black, white, and style that I instantly fell in love with. And the fact that it was about ninjas. You had me at ninjas. That should have been the very first word. A staple of all early 80s media. I think of Big Trouble in Little China, which, I love that. And Turtles, a favorite of children everywhere. I was hooked. He said, it's not totally out. I picked it up, and these guys from these guys that have mentioned, I don't think it's going anywhere. Oh, the suspense. It's not even printed yet. I wonder if
Printed right.
Oh, it printed right. Okay.
Which
I
is
wonder.
that's a bigger thing. If it's like it just wasn't good looking, or it was like an off print.
Yeah. I often wonder if he ever thought about how wrong he was. But the day started something that has continued for almost 40 years. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are a huge part of my life, and I love being able to share it with people like you guys. I love the fact that the reveal was at the very end. That was a great one. So
that is a beautiful story, and
it is an origin story.
I appreciate you, yeah. And now he grew up to become Shredder. I love that you took the time to share all that, because that was a lot. That was a big story, but it's a beautiful one. So thank you so much for that.
And he also wrote in and said he thought it wasn't good looking. So a little bit more context there. So yeah, that's awesome. And that's
compared to the stuff that's out. Yeah, it's like
yeah, and that's a really cool comment to read. So all right, on to the next one. This one I'll read because it's real short, and this is one of my favorite people from the coffee shop that I go to. His name's Jonas. We were talking today, actually, when I was putting some notes in for the podcast, and he was talking about, if you've ever played Left 4 Dead and the very old Valve games, they had the bald guy that had like the valve on the back of his head, and then they played their kind of like theme chime when you were loading into any of the Valve games. Just instantly kind of takes him back, which I think is really, really cool. So that's just a real short one, but something I can definitely relate to. So, all right, Maxwell, over to you, sir. Now I do know this person.
We'll take it.
Yeah, and these are all
My
short.
sweet
I'm
man.
really trying to get you the large ones to read. That's really what I'm trying to do.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I'll take
Yeah.
the big ones.
So one of my good friends,
That's what she said.
Pseudo 45, has a podcast, The Testing Room, with a couple of his friends, and he says standing on the dock waiting for the airship in WoW for the first time with everyone. And I remember it says it really sold how massive the world was, but also how connected it was, and it was such a cool experience I had never had before, and it hasn't been able to be replicated. Maxwell, I don't think you played World of Warcraft much at all, did you? Yeah,
No,
but
sir.
I definitely can relate. I remember standing at the dock because like they could have easily just put in fast traveling, but the fact that you had to wait at the airship with everyone else, it was kind of like waiting on the bus essentially. You're just waiting there, and sometimes you strike up conversations with people. Sometimes you're looking at people's inventory and seeing how they're geared because you're waiting on the airship to come, and it is a really cool experience. So that's a good one for sure.
That's awesome.
All right. Next, you can read this one. I wonder who this is.
Just some son of a bitch.
He's on vacation, by the way. I probably should have mentioned the reason he's not here is because he's living it up with his wife and son at the beach, and said, you know what, these yahoos got it. So, but yeah.
All right. So Justin, the other half of this Nerds with Mike's podcast. Oh, it got covered up by chat. TMT Universe wasn't looking good. Is this guy on something? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I didn't think you could see comments. That's why I threw it up there.
Yeah. So definitely, I see exactly what you see because we're in this together.
I'm an idiot.
Definitely opening up my Nintendo 64 for Christmas. I got GoldenEye and Super Mario 64 with it, and I don't think I went outside for days. That's pretty incredible. My memory of a 64 was not around Christmas. I don't know when we got it. It was just like a random day my mom gave it to us, and never had either of those games, but I've, of course, played both of them. I wanted Super Mario so bad, but never had it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely played more GoldenEye than I did Mario 64. I definitely played Mario 64, but I definitely put more hours into GoldenEye for sure. And shout out to my favorite stage, the bunker, just in case anybody was wondering. That's the best one. All right, next. Go ahead and let you take this.
Good old Reed.
Yeah.
What do we got? One of my favorites is the first time I bought a Ninja Turtle action figure with the money I got for Christmas. Felt awesome handing the cashier a $5 bill and getting a turtle when I was 4 to 5 years old. I added the years old. Never stopped buying them. Listen, that goes for a lot of folks in the chat, and I love it so much. I got a couple of, my mom brought old VHS from my childhood. I got a couple different Christmas ones. One of them, 1992. I'm opening up so many different Ninja Turtles. It's insane. So I know that feeling, and I was there with that feeling for a long, long time. And now I'm back in it, baby.
Yeah, it's all come full circle, which is pretty incredible to see. Also, I want to get a shout out to this user because they had sent a message in initially, and I saw two of them. And they were talking about how much they enjoyed Maxwell's channel, and I accidentally deleted it. So I will mention the fact that was on me, but they had wrote in that one of their favorite nostalgic memories was basically rediscovering everything nostalgia on Maxwell's channel and how much they enjoy Maxwell's channel. So I wanted to say that because that was my bad that I deleted it. So I'm trying to right that wrong because I couldn't undelete it, unfortunately. So. All right. The next one. So this one is from Quip. It is watching 1990 TMNT for the first time on home VHS. Nothing says nostalgia like VHS. Am I right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Just putting it in. And then I also think about, don't even chuckle when I said that. Some things will never change. You're a child. But anytime I think VHS, I instantly think like Blockbuster, my local like video stores that weren't a major chain like Blockbuster. Just so many memories, not only renting movies, but renting video games, things like that. Just VHS hits different. So great call out. Next. All right, Maxwell, this is kind of a semi-long one. I'm going to give you this one. Go ahead.
Thanks. And thanks, Quip, for coming and submitting. So Alan G, Super Squad 7. says, I still remember very vividly. Ooh, those are those. What is that called when the words are together like that and they're hard to say?
A run on?
No. I still remember very vividly getting
That's
my first
ah,
Transformer Thundercracker. I was 5 years old in 1984. God, what an old person you are. We were
oh, no.
just born and you were already 5. One of the things I remember so vividly is the box artwork. I started at that galactic battle scene on the back of the box for what seemed like an eternity, probably 15 minutes maximum, but who knows? That one piece of artwork alone excited my imagination. As a kid, I felt like I had actually jumped into outer space and was watching this battle take place. It's always fascinated me how much this kind of package artwork tied the toys into my headspace and how I loved these kinds of toys. So I put a little cinematic touch to it.
just
I
just a
love
touch.
this. I only had a couple Transformers. There are some amazing Transformers figures out there. There's like this company called 30, I think is who it is. And they make these big metal ones that are massive, but they're insanely beautiful. So this isn't a line that I've been collecting, and I do want to play in that space for sure, especially for my audience. People have, I guess, requested it. Is this the one that said for future stuff to do? Can you scroll down? Is this the same person? Speaking of Transformers, yeah, okay. I'd like to see you do some of those on the channel. So yeah.
Second person. This isn't the one I showed you earlier.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
This is another beautiful story. I love that these things are sticking in people's brains so vividly as used in this story. But box art, yeah, I have those memories. I loved looking at the card backs of the Ninja Turtles and X-Men and all that stuff, just to see the different figures, seeing the front of the artwork, which is why that retro style works so well today for re-releasing new figures. And
Here you go. Speaking of
oh
cards, there
yes,
you go.
the Fleer cards,
Does that
right?
take you back? Yeah,
God
there's.
bless.
You're
Yes,
welcome. I had
it's
them in the drawer
beautiful.
beside me for some odd reason, so I felt like it was fate that I had to grab them. But go ahead.
Amazing.
Go ahead.
So the Nintendo Power magazines, whenever they would have the art challenge where you could draw stuff and send it in, I loved so much seeing other people's artwork, and then the Mega Man contests and seeing I just love that so much. So this is kind of triggering some in a good way. You're triggering me, man, for
And
good memories.
a
Okay.
good
I love
trigger.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick before moving to the next one, there's been some comments come in that I just want to briefly just come up. So somebody had said this is back for the GoldenEye statement from Justin. Beat 007 and Mario 64 again. Love them. Also, a call back to WoW. I miss the old WoW days. Also, we have a comment coming in. Justin is killing it. Best game show host ever. And then also, this person evidently lost. I watched this video. This must be the person that lost to Mad Hatter, I assume, right? That is
Moscato
unfortunate.
Bot.
Yep. And then also, always love those fan art submissions. So yes, I remember those for sure. All right, and then the last one that we got is from Andrew. It says, I spent hours looking over the backs of TMNT packaging. Oh, it's what you just so happened to touch on. So I didn't realize you said dreaming and having the ones I didn't. Absolutely. I remember going to GoMart of all places when they used to package X-Men cards, and I would go there and buy them like every week. And fun fact, I think that is the first and only time I may have tried to pickpocket something as a child.
Whoa.
I might be oversharing.
For X-Men cards?
Yes.
I think you're safe. I think the statute of limitations is I think you're good.
Yeah, I was probably 8. I would travel to GoMart occasionally with my uncles, and I think I was there. It was probably them that tried to make me do it. I don't know, but I definitely remember it happening at least once. So if you want to think differently about me, that's fine. I haven't shoplifted since, but if those cards came back out, guess what? I'd probably do it again. Just saying. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So thank you for that last one. Man, we got so far to
We're
go.
gonna be here till tomorrow.
All right, so this one's from Tom. It says, opening my real Ghostbusters Firehouse playset and getting the ooze stuck in the bedroom rug within an hour. I have definitely had things like this happen. Similar story with the ooze. Mine was with TMNT. Also, I remember when I was a child, I broke a vase, and my uncle convinced me, because I had an older uncle. He tried to convince me to glue it back together with honey, and I did. And then when my mom came home, the honey didn't hold, and then it was just all on me at that point.
Oh
So
God.
that makes me think of that as part of my childhood. So
Yeah. So Tom, if you're here, did you ever? What happened?
yeah, I got
What
to
happened
know.
to the carpet, man? Was it there permanently?
I don't think it no longer matches the drapes. I'll tell you that. So there's that. So we got a comment coming in from see, I hate that it does that. TMNT 1987. It says, as an immigrant coming here from war-torn country, Bosnia, says my first birthday in the States and SNES, a moment that I will never forget. Awesome topic tonight, fellas.
Thanks,
SNS,
man.
you're speaking to my heart, and we're so glad to have you stopping by. So thank you so much.
Always appreciate you being around. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And then this one you want to read real quick, and then we'll
I
move
say
on.
thank you to him so much that he's like, just stop.
Yeah.
I can't see this. What's this to say? Sith. Okay, there we go. There's like a pop-up that tells you to double click something.
I hate it.
Sith Vicious. In high school, I dressed as Donatello at Walmart to promote the toys. That's amazing already. It was an awesome, legit promo suit. I could barely see, but the kids went crazy. It was fun, but soaked in someone else's sweat.
They gotta share that photo with you because I gotta see that.
I know.
Saying. And Donatello is my favorite.
If there's an image. Oh, that's your favorite?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever talked about that. All right. Well, that's good to know. People in the chat always want to know who the favorite is. I don't have them.
You don't have a favorite? You don't play favorites. Okay, got you.
I don't. There's just something about it. It's like, oh, I think maybe when I was a kid, I would think Michelangelo, but I don't think so. I don't have any specific memory of, oh, I loved this turtle. It was always just the variants of the Playmates toys. So I loved the basketball Donatello. I loved the samurai Leo and the one where he's on a triceratops, like a caveman. And then I think I had like the DJ Michelangelo or whatever. So whatever. I just love them all.
Okay. Well,
Even
Andrew,
though I didn't say anything about Raphael.
I know. Oh no. Yeah. So Undercover said, I love Donnie too. We also have Andrew writing in saying mine rotates between Leo and Ralph. And then also Sith comes in and says, yeah, is it my bad?
Raph. It's
Raph.
okay. People
Raph. Yeah,
people write Ralph in when they're shortening it in text and stuff, like it in comments, but it's usually because the phone is just like, you meant Ralph. So it's just always in there as, oh, I love Ralph versus Raph, and it just kind of gets me.
And Sith said, I do have a pic with the head off. I'll try to dig it up. I cannot wait. We'll have, I'll tell you what, we'll have Maxwell just superimpose a head on it if you just want to see what it would be like complete.
It'll be just my head though, so that I can look like I'm in the suit.
That would be amazing. All right. For the next one, we have Sith Vicious writing in on YouTube. I'm not sure if they have.
Well, how perfect.
Channel. Yeah, go ahead.
Because we just read the story from Sith.
Oh, is this the same story?
It's conveniently, like, well, the timing is so perfect, right?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. So at 7 years old, seeing Star Wars opening weekend at a drive-in theater, but I was basically there to see Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, but I saw this cool space movie on screen behind me. So I watched the whole movie for the first time with no audio. We went and saw it in its true form the next weekend. How freaking cool is that? And as soon as I read Sinbad, that is also just like some nostalgia as well. That's
that is an incredible experience. My only lingering memory of a drive-in theater, I know that we went because we had one nearby, but driving by the drive-in theater was Batman 89 playing. So as we're driving by, me and my brother, we're like, oh, what is that? And you can kind of see him in the bat suit. And then we would turn the radio and just pick up a little bit of the scene. But, you know, as we're moving along, so we only got like a few seconds of it, but it was just so powerful to see that scene. Amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. I do want to bring in a question. I think it's a good one to ask.
Bring it in, man.
Yeah, so Pizza Gives Me Nightmares wrote in and said, "Did you guys ever bury your toys?" And not only do I want to hear your response and I'll give mine, but also anybody that wants to type theirs in, I would love to also know because I did not, but I have a funny story about my dad, but I'll go ahead and let you share first because mine's going to be something you're not going to believe. So go ahead.
I did not bury my toys, but in the house that we grew up in, sometimes out in the yard, there end up being like a bare spot in the grass, and we found like a half a Superman toy one time when we were kids. It was just like the craziest thing. It's like half a toy in the ground. We're like, other people lived here. That was kind of the first thing for us as kids, thinking like there was a history before us in this house. This is like it's like a time capsule.
Yeah. So funny you should mention Bear Grass. I learned this story and I'll never forget it. My dad would pee on his toys so nobody else would play with them as a kid. He wouldn't bury them, he wouldn't hide them. He would just straight up pee on his toys so nobody else would want to play with them.
That's a
And I was just thinking as soon as you said Bear Grass, I was like, how fitting is this? I'm so glad I let you
oh
go
my
first.
God. Well,
anyway.
did anybody else's or their dads pee on their toys?
Yeah,
Let us
so
know in the chat.
Yeah, so this one, so Undercover said, I put Lego minifigures in the sand sometimes. Sis said, I lost a lot of toys buried in the yard, mostly Matchbox. Matchbox, I lost a few of those in the sandbox, so I identify with that for sure. Thomas had said, I remember burying, I'm not sure, Lips Manless, is that how you would say it? Lips Manless from Dick Tracy. I know Dick Tracy, but I'm just not familiar with that character because I was didn't really watch it. But it says I stained his plastic white shirt forever. Oh no. And Dick Tracy's a callback. I totally forgot that existed. Andrew said, and I'm assuming this is to my dad. And Dad, if you're listening or watching, gross. And then TMNT Universe said, there's a dirtbag somewhere underneath my parents' backyard. I thought he was referring to my dad as well, but I guess that's something else. And then also said that's an effective technique. That is correct.
It's disgusting.
I know, bro.
All right, what do we got next here?
We're crossing the threshold at 11.
We got into 11 of 58. Good
God.
So
go ahead. This is from Nidus. Over to
Nidus.
You,
well, I was born in the 80s, and I grew up with Transformers, Masters of the Universe, TMNT, and Thundercats. So you're from the South now, Nidus. At first, I got He-Man, among other things, but then I got my first Transformer, and I was sold. 2 in 1. That was the best thing for your money back then. Later came the TMNT, and I immersed myself in that as well. I actually want to say the 80s and 90s were great.
That as the farther you read into that, the farther south we went. And I felt like by the end of it,
he moved a lot when he was a kid. So,
and I felt like by the end of it, I was just watching Red Dead Redemption is what I was thinking was happening. It became great story, by the way, but because of that, Andrew came in and said, "Great commentary voice." Ha ha.
Thank you.
And then also, real quick, from the Lost Cause, loved burying my brother's Superman toys because I was on Batman's side.
Dang, maybe that was the Superman I dug up.
Oh no, maybe. But no, that's good. All right, I can't see. The bar is set so high that I can't
help
match that. My nostalgic memories are the first movie I remember seeing in theaters was Batman the Toys. I remember playing with in my young childhood were Voltron, Thundercats, Mask, WWE with my brother. Then my first toy purchased was the TMNT Mikey. I felt like saying brother because it came right after WWE and it just made me think of Hulk Hogan. But I also had a massive, I don't know if you remember, they made those really big Ninja Turtles. I don't know if you remember, and they actually had their weapons. So for Christmas one year, I got the big Michelangelo. It actually had the nunchucks. I can't tell you the amount of times that I took him out of his hands and I whip him around, and I've lost track of the time I've hit myself in the face with him. But when I moved away as an adult, right? Well, the first time leaving home, I came home to my mom saying, I gave all your toys away. But the only toy that has stood the test of time and has remained in that house to this day is Large Mikey. However, his nunchucks have went missing.
That's amazing.
But yeah. So all right. So a couple comments real quick. LMAO. If he kept reading, I'm sure the accent would have turned Jamaican because that's how far south you be going, man. All right. And also, we got Mario here. I read this name earlier when I was looking through the comments. I said, surely there's nobody really with this name. And look, here you are. You're Mario. It says, I would get mangled up toys from leaving them in the yard, and my dad running over them with his sit-down lawnmower. I'm pretty sure he did it on purpose, but to this day, he still finds body parts. Unfortunately, the only thing I ever rode over was my iPod. That was the thing. Yeah, yikes. Expensive. And also, very appropriate with brother. But love that. All right, so Maxwell.
On to the next one.
On to the next one. And I don't know if I said this or not, but that was from Mark Steven. I forgot to give out that name.
It's okay.
All right. So over to you,
This
Maxwell.
one's coming from Holiday. And Holiday's got a bubbly personality because it's a whole event. Okay. Oh. For me, it's an odd one because it's kind of a sad start when the TMNT cartoon first aired here in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands. I was hooked, but it did not take long. And they took it down for over 2 or a year. I'm losing it. Sorry. We're going to go back to the bubbly. I was heartbroken. I had many of the toys, a clock, an alarm clock, posters, you name it. I was so devastated. But then one great morning, I sat in front of the TV and started looking for something to watch. And straight off, I saw that awesome green turtle with a purple bandana. Donnie, my life had meaning again. And I will never forget that very moment. That's a Holiday. Thank you for that. Obviously, I don't know what you actually sound like. And I'm sure it was neither of those things. Or maybe it was a bubbly accent that I couldn't do. So listen, I love that there's like all these little extra pieces that people are remembering, like the clock and alarm clock and stuff. Like that's crazy. I don't think that I had any extra like unique pieces. I don't know what you would call those that aren't typical. They're not just toys, right? They're something kind of special.
Yeah. I remember one thing that makes me remind of is I had most all the toys I had as a kid was TMNT, and I had the actual pizza shooters that you could load the round disc pizzas in, and they would actually fire them out the front. And I would chase my cat through the house trying to shoot pizzas at it.
No. What it does remind me, the closest like a toy adjacent thing was a little Donatello snow globe. I still have it. It's in a box in the closet, but it's lost like half of its water or liquid. But it was a pencil sharpener. It's on the bottom of it. It was just this tiny little green base, a tiny little Donatello with a staff, and it's probably about this big or something. And the base of it was just pencil sharpener. That part's gone, and half the liquid's gone, but I still got it. Love it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Moving right along at 14. I don't know if we're going to make all these. So many. All right.
We're just going to have to put chat on a pause for a minute. And just kind of blast through.
Yeah. All right. So your usual nerd Tom watching the first episode of Spider-Man on Saturday morning. This is one of my favorite memories. Watching Spider-Man 90s on Fox. Loved it. Along with all those other Saturday morning cartoons for sure. And watching Power Rangers. But Spider-Man, it's real good. All right. Maxwell, over to you.
This is Simoon. Watching the Batwing fly up with the moon in the background. I love Batman, and watching the Burton movies just makes me super happy. I'm going to add in, I know I sound angry right now, but I'm actually happy. I collect a lot of toys, props, and statues. All of this connects back to seeing Batman either in movies or cartoons. Now, question for Simoon. If you watch this or hear, did you get the Batman belt from NECA that just came out? The replica belt? Because that thing looked pretty detailed. And I'm excited to see some people review that. I did not get it.
Oh, well, maybe you will. Maybe you'll get it one day.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Next one is from Josh Garrett. This is one of our old coworkers. Yes, Maxwell.
That's right.
I was born in the late 70s, and watching the Saturday morning cartoons in the 80s were the highlight of my week when I was growing up.
By the way,
Yeah.
this is John Garrett, so not
John.
the person that we worked with.
No,
Because once he
John
said
Garrett.
born in the 70s, I was like, nope, hold on.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that was Josh, not John.
Yeah, we worked
you're
with a
right.
Josh, not a John. But
Maybe I
that,
should.
yeah, those 80s, man, I'll even say, okay, listen to this, Travis. Hey, look at me.
I'm listening, and I'm
Looking at me?
looking.
The ones to watch.
That's,
You know that?
yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The ones to watch.
I need that as my.
Anybody?
I need that as my.
I don't think it was just a local thing for it, where in West Virginia, but this is like Fox movies on Saturdays. That was the
Yeah.
jam.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It
can you? All right. Well, let's rewind it and you react a little bit better to that.
Okay, go ahead.
The ones to watch.
Oh my gosh, that takes me back to Fox.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
my bad.
all right. Thomas goes nostalgic. Another dear friend. When I was 5, I got Legos for Christmas. However, my mother had already put them all together and glued everything. Probably why I never got into Legos after. Years later, I needed a Christmas gift for my mother, and she loved nutcrackers. I found a Lego nutcracker. Put it together and glued it. I gave her that as a gift, and we laugh about it every Christmas. That is my favorite nostalgic moment. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Who glues Legos?
Yeah.
Mama nostalgic, apparently.
Yeah, that is amazing. The only thing I ever used Legos for were landmines to get people to walk on that I didn't like. So there's that.
Oh.
No, actually, I never played a lot with Legos because I'm so old that I played with Lincoln Logs. Who knows anything about Lincoln Logs? That's a real question.
Wow. Yeah, I just remember in kindergarten having some in the classroom. So I had Legos, but we had this like blue. It was like in a blue bucket. It was just a bunch of Lego pieces. We didn't have any instructions or anything to go off of, so just built with our imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to read this one. I don't know if you know. So at Undercover Colton, aka Colton R, it says, "Hello, my name is." Yeah. It says, "Hello, my name is Colton, and I love Nostalgia Unbox channel." Shout out to Jonathan. It says, "I'm only 13, which is super cool to see. So my nostalgic moments may not be the same as some viewers of the channel, but I still wanted to fill out this form." That's absolutely fair, and I love that.
Yeah, I have loved the interactions and hearing the stories, especially at this age. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah. So one of my favorite nostalgic memories is from around 2014-ish. My dad took me to either Walmart or Toys R Us to get my first ever Lego set, and I wanted the Marvel one. I don't remember much, but this was the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon was still airing on TV, and Lego was releasing a set for it. I'm going to stop for a second. I don't think I've ever seen this, and I'm going to have to look it up after the show because that sounds really nice. I ended up choosing the little set with Spidey riding some sort of made-up vehicle, and he was chasing down Electro. I don't remember much, but the simplicity of that memory makes it so nostalgic for me. Simpler times when I could just be a kid. I miss those days, and even tearing up writing this because of the nostalgia. Hopefully you see this and read it on the podcast, and thanks for sharing, Colton. That's real good. That's real good.
Yeah, that's a great story. Very I don't know, 13 or like 35.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was
anyway, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. It's a great.
Yeah, that was a great one. And
13's still a kid, so
the fact they even included Toys R Us in there, that instantly just takes me back regardless of where they bought it. So good on you for saying Toys R Us if that wasn't it. So all right, Maxwell.
Dave DeVault. December of 1978, my grandmother brought me to the only local movie theater. That's where I got this voice. It was downtown, so we had to take the bus. My grandmother never brought me anywhere. I think it was mostly because she didn't drive and was an Italian immigrant who barely spoke English. So it was extra special. She brought me to Superman, the movie. It blew my mind. It really made me believe a man could fly. My lifelong love of movies and comics started here. This is the moment, specifically the helicopter scene when John Williams' Superman theme starts up as Lois is hanging out of the helicopter and Clark Kent runs across the street, pulling his shirt apart and revealing the most recognized single letter symbol in the world. Superman had arrived.
I love this story, but you were so extra. No, this is a really good story. And to be honest, the Superman theme song I think is slept on. It is a great theme song.
It's one of those songs that gets stuck in my head randomly, and I'm just like singing it all day.
It reminds me a lot of the Terminator theme song in the sense that it slowly builds, and by it gets to the point you're just like so into it, and when you first start hearing it, you're just like, yeah, okay, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next. Hey, we're at 20. We're making way. All right, this is from you. You want to read this name? Is this
I don't know, Kieran's big mustache.
Kieran's big mustachio? It says, playing with my Biker from Mars toys with my brother and cousins. As the youngest, I would always ruin the game and eventually be kicked out of the room. Come to think of it, is this even my favorite memory? Maybe it's your favorite memory for ruin everybody else's time, but maybe not necessarily your personal memory of the things that you remember. But yes, this is funny. And thank you so much for just being so candid.
God. Yeah, that is a great one. I don't think I ever played that game though, but it sounds like it has to be good. 90s? Biker Mice from Mars?
Yeah, I didn't play the game, but I watched the TV show. So,
oh yeah, had like 2 toys.
Yeah. So over to you. I'll tell you what, once we hit 30, we'll take a break, read a few comments, and keep pushing forward. So go ahead.
Hey, I like that, Travis. Hey. Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stan the Slitheen. Have you heard of a board game called Atmosphere? That's spelled ATMOSFEAR.
I regret giving you the long ones now. Go ahead.
It's a game that includes a VHS DVD app where there is a 60-minute timer, and the aim of the game is to collect 6 keys from around the board. But every now and again, a horrific zombie demon called the Gatekeeper would appear on screen and either give keys, take keys, or just insult you. Some of my favorite memories are of playing this game at Halloween. But there's this special part. I sent an email to the company, and they said that once my channel reaches 100 subs, I can interview the creator of the game. And the game ain't nothing small, baby. In its second year, it's sold over 2 million copies. So now I wait. By the way, this isn't me trying to promote my channel. It's just something very special to me. Follow me, Stan the Slitheen, on YouTube. I added that last part, but yeah, go give Stan the Man the Slitheen a follow.
That is really cool. And also, that game they were talking about sounds super interesting. I've been actually in the process of trying to collect some interesting board games, so that's definitely one I shall check out.
Yeah, so. Horrific zombie gatekeepers that are demons. Sign me up.
Sign me up. All right. Next, Roger Pettit. That's what I'm going with. I don't know. It says, I am a big wrestling fan. And at the moment that Mrs. Elizabeth ran to the ring and saved Macho Man Randy Savage from Sensational Sherry is a memory I will always love.
Listen, wrestling is a big part of the collector community. It's amazing. There's so much stuff that I see because of this, but I was never really the closest. I had seen stuff. The closest I ever really got to wrestling was watching Hulk Hogan movies. So you give me Suburban Commando and I'm all over it.
Yeah. What about the one where he what was the Hulk Hogan movie where he was a babysitter? That was a thing, right? No. God, now I feel like an idiot. I think that's a Vin Diesel movie, but I think
they both did it.
Did they? Okay. All right.
Pretty sure. You take a
Yeah.
tough guy, have him babysit little girls or something. You got it, comedy gold.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Moving on. Yes, it's a small one. Over to you, buddy.
Scroll down just a little bit more whenever you do these, by the way, because
Do you want to see
it
these?
gets to a
Okay.
point where like the graphic on the screen covers up a word, and I'm not sure I'm
Okay.
saying the word right.
I got
So
you,
this
fam.
is from Needles. This is Gary Dolan over on the Facebooks and Twitters and Instagram. You can follow Needles. That's Needles with 2 D's because you got a double dip, baby. So what does any of that mean? I don't know. There was upgrade with 2 D's is in the Idiocracy movie.
Yes.
Anyway. So if you want to know TMNT Party Wagon, forget all your TMNT news. Anytime I'd get to walk into Walmart while hanging out with my great grandmother and get whatever TMNT toy I wanted. Those are some good memories,
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
We didn't live around a lot of family because we were in a different state growing up. But every once in a while, we go up to Michigan, and I'd have my step grandmother would take us to Toys R Us, and we'd get to pick something out. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I instantly think back to KB Toys, Kmart, Hills, right? Just like trips there, and just I was allowed to randomly get a toy at times, and I was so pumped. Good times. I do want to say Lone Star Galaxy had came in and said Mr. Nanny was the name of maybe. So yeah, I thought I'd remember seeing it, but then as soon as I said it, I was like, God, I probably am wrong. All right. 24. This one's from Mario. Mario, this is the one I didn't think existed, but definitely does. Mario says, it was when my dad and younger brother completed Zelda, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time together. But I was the only one that played Majora's Mask. Zelda, playing it with family. And Maxwell, I think
my mommy.
Yeah, you were the one that shared that this was like your mom's game, and you watched her beat like several of them, right? Like, and this was the thing.
Yeah, the first one and A Link to the Past.
So it's very cool to like obviously see that this is not like you're not the exception to the rule. Everybody, like the other people do this, because for me, my dad, it was not Zelda. It was Super Metroid on SNES. That was the one that he played a ton of. That and like some Brunswick bowling game. Those are like his two that he rotated between. And then also there was like a casino game that he also rotated in every once in a while. But for me, I played Super Metroid and a lot of Zelda, a lot of Super Punch Out amongst Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games.
Hey, this is a beautiful memory about your dad. Can I share mine about my dad?
Yeah.
Since
as long as it's not, he left for milk and never came back.
Oh, I think he was lactose intolerant. So okay, whenever I was a kid, we would play Gradius. That was like the only game that he really got into.
Yes.
So flash forward, baby. It's like 20 years or something. I'm in college. I'm like, I got to get my dad something for Christmas. I'm actually living with you at the time. This is around that time. Yeah. So find out there are...
Because we were playing that game pretty heavily.
Yeah. We found out that there were emulators, systems, right? Like retro style consoles that you could play games on. So I get one that plays Nintendo games. Buy that off the internet, $50 probably. And then I get a hold of a Gradius cartridge. Paid some good, probably okay money. I don't think it's worth a whole lot. And I give that to him for Christmas. And he basically responded the same way as he did when we were kids and we got him a pair of jeans.
Oh no. Really?
Oh yeah, thanks.
That's not the way that I thought that story was going to go. Maybe
basically that was a long story to say my dad's a piece of shit.
Well, maybe it would have been better if he left for milk.
Yeah.
You know what? That's honestly why I dip my Oreos in water, is because mine never came back with milk. That's neither here nor there. Getting a little too personal. All right. Moving on. Over to you, my dude.
Scroll down a little bit more, please.
Oh, God.
Graphics. Those little sparkly graphics, man, they cover up the words.
Oh, yeah.
This is from Elijah. Coming home from elementary school and playing RuneScape Club Penguin on my mom's computer in her room while early 2000s R&B jams were playing on her radio. Wow. Is that That is a
Yeah.
very specific vibe, man. Early 2000s R&B jams.
What's
That's a
funny is,
beautiful thing all on its own.
yeah, what's funny is I only have ever heard of one person that I know that I used to work with at Best Buy. She was really heavily into Club Penguin. I've never heard anybody else talk about Club Penguin ever. So the fact that I see this, I know it must have been big. So that's awesome. I know it doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Club Penguin does not exist.
I know that there were people that grew up with that. That is burned into their brains. That's a
Yeah, I
big
think it
moment
got
in time.
yeah, I think it got bought out by somebody else, and then after that, it just went down the tubes. But that memory sounds like something that just like it's a whole vibe. The whole vibe. I love it. All right, moving on. All right, this is from Ben Carter. It says, first R-rated movie I saw in theaters was RoboCop. Now you're speaking directly into Jonathan Amaz ear holes and eye holes. I was 5 years old and went with both my parents. I remember my mom kept trying to cover my eyes at the super violent parts, like when Alec Murphy was shot up by the villains. Still one of my favorite action movies / sci-fi movies to this day. And you know what? I'll buy that for $1. That is a great call out. I'll buy that for $1. Yeah, that is awesome.
My God, that is brutal at 5 years old, though.
Yeah,
that leaves haunting memories. Oh, Ben Carter, by the way, it's too far away, but got me this incredible Iron Man figure. And I
that's the
reviewed
one
it
that
on the
has
channel.
that's like hovering and stuff, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
showed me that one.
beautiful. It's like
Yeah.
$32 into the best looking figure ever.
Yeah, that's dope. I wasn't it released or was it fan made where the guy got his like junk blast off?
Yeah, it's like a whole
It's like
warehouse
over
scene
and
where he's
over and over,
shooting
right?
all these different dudes in the junk. Yeah, it's amazing.
I wish that was real. I didn't skip one, did I? Just want to make sure. Nope, I didn't. Okay, perfect. I don't want. Okay. Oh, here you go. Perfect.
Ah, from Momo, from Moscato by Collect.
I'll see you in 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit, please.
Gosh,
Those
you know
damn
what?
graphics, dude.
I'm just gonna.
Well, you got do you not? Are you looking at a different version of the screen than I am?
I'm actually looking at the web browser.
Yeah, I'm in the web browser.
No, I'm actually on the web page. You're looking at our feed, aren't you?
I'm looking at Talk Studio Streamlabs.
Yeah,
interface.
you know, you could also pull this up on your end and just change it when I change it, so you could actually see it in a separate window. But that's okay. Go ahead.
I'm gonna murder your face.
Yeah.
All right.
I know.
So Mo says, was visiting my grandma in Iowa. Oh, I think this is the story he shared with me, and I love this so much. This is one of those beautiful memories. Just, folks, hunker down. This is a good one. I was visiting my grandma in Iowa with my cousins for Christmas break when I was 14. My aunt, uncle, cousins, and sister went to a ski resort in Iowa. Well, I did not want to go skiing. I wanted to play in the arcade all day, so I had a crisp $50 bill. That's not what $50 bills sound like. I don't know why I tried to add a sound effect. Got it changed to $50 worth of quarters. Was looking around to see what to play when suddenly there it was. The X-Men arcade 6-player cabinet. This thing was huge. I remember no one was playing it. I slammed my quarters on top of the deck and asked some kids, who wants to help me beat this thing? 4 kids ran over and put all their quarters on top, and we picked our characters. I had dibs on Wolverine. I'm no idiot. Another kid joined, and we had a full team with a bunch of quarters. We beat the game in 4 hours. It was so much fun. At the end of it, we all went our at the end of it all, when we were done, it was like, wow, we beat it. One of those 80s, 90s movie moments. Then it was kind of sad as the language got a little messed up here. Then it was kind of sad as we all we're so close during this time Then it was like, well, see you later. I've lost all my exciting, I can't handle the message this long, I guess. It was truly a moment from a movie. It was so fun, and I'll never forget it. Yeah, I love this honestly so much. It's so good. I wish that I had one of those memories. It sounds like a movie moment.
Yeah, it sounds like what he was trying to describe there towards the end is like you have one of those 80s moments freeze frames, like when they finished it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, oh, okay, well, see you later. It was like you wanted to stay in that freeze frame forever, but then shortly after, it was like, all right, okay, see you, bye.
Yeah,
Never to see
my
you
mom's
again.
here. Gotta go.
Yeah. And then also to add a little bit of context to this, you want to read that?
No, Mo said, "Fat sausage fingers, bro. Don't know what happened there."
There we go.
It's okay. I also
It
was
gets
getting
us
a little
all.
tired.
Yeah, for sure. No, that was a great one. All right, I think we're closing in on. All right, we're cooking. We're cooking. All right, this is from Zario Lordo. I assume. I don't.
Zoa Lord, Zoa
Yeah,
Lord, I don't know.
Zario Lord. Yeah, yeah.
There you
Anyways,
go.
it says I'm going to scroll down just so you can see it. You know, I don't
Thanks.
want you to. Yeah, you're welcome. It says, when I found an original Vacman, I don't know if this is Vacman or supposed to be Pac-Man. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say Vacman, but they may mean Pac-Man. It says, in an antique mall in my town, it says, had one when I was young, took it with me everywhere. It said it was my favorite toy at the time. Okay. And unfortunately, he broke. Definitely made to play with, but not exactly built to last. Can't say exactly how it happened, but he got a tear in him. That
So
was
just to add context, since you're talking about a tear, it's clearly not Pac-Man, but so
yes.
Vacman is kind of like this.
Stretch Armstrong?
He looks like a Stretch Armstrong, but
Okay.
it comes with like a little pump, which is like a vacuum, I guess, to suck.
Yeah.
him.
Which is kind of like a Stretch Armstrong, right? Like I think it's you remember seeing the movie anyways, let me finish the story and then I'll talk to you about it. All right. It says can't say exactly how it happened. Got a tear in him, was beyond repair, and all his guts came out, this ruining what it is he did. For your information, he had a pump that called all the air out and allowing him to stretch and keep his shape, and a button that would allow the air back in and return to a normal state. The one I have now is just as I remember it, but at my age now, I can be much more careful and hopefully I can keep him around for much longer. So it sounds like he replaced it. I don't know. Can you still hear me, Maxwell?
I can hear you, but your camera went into like an Elgato virtual camera.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
You just connected. You were using your phone.
Yeah,
just for context, you can work on that, and I'll explain.
Yeah.
So he's got this. I guess Elgato is like an app to connect to your
my
Apple
phone.
computer and allows you to use your iPhone as a webcam, which is pretty sweet until you run out of time, I guess, and then it disconnects or something.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll tell you what.
Stretch Armstrong's villain. Okay, that's pretty sweet.
All right, here you go. I'll go ahead and switch this over while I get this.
Okay. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
AC Lowry, he says, or she, or they, I don't know. Playing the original Crash Bandicoot games with my brother. We never had the most up-to-date consoles. Our PS1 was a hand-me-down, and we had no memory card. But replaying those opening levels over and over is something that still fills me with fuzzy feelings. Yeah, there's a lot of power with that. I think you could see that as a disadvantage not having a memory card and just having to, oh man, you either have to sit down and just dedicate all your time to beating Final Fantasy for 30 hours, or you only get to play a little bit of everything. And I think that burns in, like you're saying here, those memories are just sticking deeper and deeper because, it's like seeing the intro to a cartoon or whatever, right? Like growing up, seeing the TMNT intro come on TV, it was like, oh, you got to stop whatever you're doing because it's on, baby. Yeah, that's a nice memory. Let's go over to the next one there.
All right, yeah.
Mario, thank you for showing up. They said they got to go.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. There you go. I think I should have this fixed, but go ahead.
All right, this is Gabo or Gabo 124E. I wonder what that's all about. 124E. They say, my first ever Marvel movie I saw was The Amazing Spider-Man, and I loved it. And I just felt so much nostalgia when Andrew Garfield returned in No Way Home. Yes. So Amazing Spider-Man, specifically the Andrew Garfield ones, those were good movies. I really wish that they would have done a third one. And there was no sadder scene in a Spider-Man movie than Gwen Stacy hitting the bottom of that tower. Oh, God.
Yeah,
It's heartbreaking.
absolutely. Thank you
And
for
listen, I teared up whenever he caught MJ in No Way Home. That was just like I felt his pain when he
yeah,
caught her and she said, "Are you okay?" or whatever. And oh my God, such a moment.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking care of that while I fumbled through. I don't know what happened there. So thank you for that. Let's take real quick to just go through some of these comments real quick. So this was a call out to the public, the Penguin Club Penguin thing. Somebody says, I got into it when I was 30. That's really cool to see. Never too old to get in that. Oh, we won that one. All right. 6-person X-Men game was awesome. I also agree. Also, there was a lot of call outs saying, talking about, favorite intro music for retro shows. I know for me, I love the X-Men intro.
Mm-hmm.
Just love that one. I also had a Stretch Armstrong, which was really cool. Thank you for giving us some context. Yep, it was a villain. And then also, let's see here. Old Man, Crash Bandicoot, and Twisted Metal was a good time. I could not agree more. I honestly didn't get into Crash until much later in life. However, I played every Twisted Metal game growing up. I remember a memory. I don't know why I remember this, but I remember playing Twisted Metal, listening to the first No Doubt album. That's how old I am.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a solid connection though.
Yeah, it's that literally anytime No Doubt comes on, I immediately think of Twisted Metal. That's like a thing. And then when I think of No Doubt, I also think of Columbia House Records, where you could order CDs to your house. Like
Oh, right.
that's how old I am. But yeah, and then a new comment that just came in here from Pizza Gives Me Nightmares. This is, are there any old games you guys never could beat?
Most of them.
Yeah, so for me, I can only recall a one game that I was never able to beat, and Maxwell would probably know what this is, but I'm just going to say it anyways. Super Ghosts and Ghouls on Super Nintendo, because you essentially beat that game only to go all the way back and replay through it to get to the final boss, but at a much higher difficulty. And you have to find a hidden item throughout the game on the second playthrough round, or else you're not going to be able to do what you need to do. And that is probably the one game that I was never able to beat. Maxwell, do you said all games probably?
Most games, yeah. I don't know what it was, if it was just a
Did you
difficulty or just
did you
like an attention, like, oh, just done with this Super Nintendo game. I'm gonna go play this other Super Nintendo game. That's the console I'm thinking of. I mean, we had a ton of Nintendo games, which were notoriously hard. So probably not a lot of people beat a lot of Nintendo
yeah
games. But the game that I spent most of my time finding every detail and playing through over and over and over again was Super Metroid.
Yeah, I will tell you a game. It's not really like an old game per se, but one game I also never beat. Partly because it was hard, but also partly because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of look, you got scared. Was and Maxwell's gonna love this answer. Alien Isolation.
Oh yeah,
That
yep,
game, that game was
terrifying.
it was next level for me. Like I'll play a Dark Souls game all day long, but you let me get hunt by an alien and not know when it's gonna come. No, I'm good. Hard
Gross.
pass.
Yeah, and then if you turn on the extra difficulty where turn the microphone on so that any house noise would get picked up in the game and the alien would hear that and also come to you, that's
Yeah,
too much. I don't know how
yeah.
people play that game, or whatever the version of it is that's AR
VR.
or VR.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Two comments real quick, and then we'll move on. It says, Andrew said, wow, that sounds frustrating. Like, did you know what the item was? Yes, it was I think it was a necklace or a bracelet, but it was always random where you would find it in that game. And then somebody said, I beat it, but shout out to Prince of Persia Sands of Time on GameCube. You had me at GameCube, but I wish that is a series they would bring back. They're so heavily focused on Assassin's Creed, but I would love to see another Prince of Persia game. Also, Sis says, and confirm my suspicion, 100% isolation equals impossible. And then real quick, and then TMNT 1987, it says, who was the worst guy to fight in Street Fighter? I just hated fighting Vega so much. I was actually going to say Vega. Bison I didn't really care that much for. He was fine. E Honda, wasn't a fan of fighting him. Maxwell, did you play much Street Fighter at all?
Yeah, but I think I spent most of my time playing with my brother, so there was some playing the tournament mode or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, mostly just playing against my brother. So I don't have I wanted to say Bison, but
Yeah.
that was, yeah, I don't know if that's a true memory or not.
Yeah. And I'm not, I didn't play a ton of the games, but the one guy I remember being very frustrated with was his name starts with a B, I think, but it's the guy. He's green and he sets himself on like electricity, and then he also has like red hair. I can't remember his name,
No idea who you're talking about.
but he definitely exists in that game. So I have the new Street Fighter 6, and he's in that for sure. Why are you laughing at me for?
Because I said I have no idea who you're talking about. Obviously, he's a very iconic.
Yes.
character.
All right. I want to give a couple of these responses and then moving on. So Ninja Gaiden was way too hard. I actually beat Ninja Gaiden. I went back and played Ninja Gaiden Black, which was a harder version of the game, and I beat. I just love those games. That, and I tell you, some of the later Devil May Cry games I thought were pretty difficult. Pizza Gives Me Nightmare says I was a Mortal Kombat guy. I also agree. Mortal Kombat was great. Andrew writes in and says, I played Duke Nukem 3D without sound because my computer didn't have a good enough sound card. Flashing red screen. Oh, I must be getting shot by big cops. That's a great call out. All right, Maxwell, let's keep moving.
Yeah, we gotta get going.
Oh, bro, we're only an hour and 16 minutes in. We're Gucci Mane. Anyways, go ahead.
Tom C says, I remember being at my bus stop as a kid, and me and someone I wasn't really friends with were showing off our TMNT figures. That old son of a bitch. I ended up trading my original Shredder figure for Casey Jones, which I had wanted for a while but couldn't get. I was so happy to finally have him, as he is one of my favorite figures from the original line. I love his colors and accessories. Peace be with you. And also with you, Tom. So
Yes.
my memory of toys with kids is it's like toys for tots. So Ninja Turtles, I'd always stay over at my friend Wade's house, and he had a pretty massive Ninja Turtle collection as well. But for some reason, the first time I stayed, he like gave me a toy to take home. It was like a gift to stay, like I stayed with him, and so he gave me a gift. So then every time I ever stayed with him, I just thought that's how it worked.
You just thought you were gonna
And I pretty much always got to take home a figure, which is insane. And I feel bad about it. I probably need to just buy a bunch and send them to him.
Yeah, because I know you don't still have them. Don't even play.
No, not even a little bit.
Okay. All right. This is from Kawa?
Kawa? Like Cowabunga?
Yeah, Cowabunga dudes. It says, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's one that sticks out in my mind. For Christmas 1993, I believe. It says, my parents got me a G.I. Joe Star Brigade armor bot. It was from Santa. And my parents had this weird tradition of not only not wrapping my Santa gifts, but for the big ones like this, they'd open and fully assemble them. Well, little did they know that they were raising a future graphic designer. I was absolutely eccentric that I had ecstatic, that I had gotten the armor bot when I saw it. But when the happiness faded into rage, as I realized that many of the stickers were applied crooked and some even in the wrong place. If I had known that it was the work of my parents, I probably wouldn't have let it slide. But because, as far as I knew, it was Santa, wasn't there to defend himself, I made it very well known that it was unsatisfactory. The disappointment led me to not only not play with it as much, but I quit playing with the entire Star Brigade line after that. The hell with it. I just added that last part. But yeah, that, my OCD-ness, like if that would have happened to me, Maxwell knows I'm pretty OCD about some certain things. Like that probably would have absolutely drove me crazy. So I definitely can identify with that for sure.
Yeah. Kawa's we've talked together in the past about design stuff and things, and I've been working on all these VHS and different design things, but does incredible work. So it's amazing to hear that story and see that connection of being a graphic designer.
How it progressed and now what he does.
Yeah. I will make sure that all stickers are placed before the parents get it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. He should do something by like taking all these old retro photos they have of family in the house and slowly replacing them with something that looks the same but slightly different.
What?
Just yeah, I saw a whole video of that where somebody was slowly replacing family photos, but they were altering it and seeing how long it took them to notice.
Oh my gosh, like stuff hanging on the wall and stuff.
Yeah, like
That's
actually like in
amazing.
the house of family and stuff, so they would like either switch their outfits they were wearing, or they would completely take a family member out, like add a family member
Oh my
in.
gosh, George Costanza did.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So over to
So
you.
this is from Tals75 saying, watching Batman in 1989, so much hype and build up, it did not disappoint. Michael Keaton was a controversial pick to play Batman, but he delivered, which is true. And that's amazing to me. It
Yeah,
happens every time. Every movie, everything, it's always, oh, people get so mad about, that's how we got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. People were so mad. He's so tall, and that's not, but now you can't imagine anybody else.
but has there ever been a casting that you feel the same way that most people felt about? Just out of curiosity?
Meaning that I
Like,
didn't agree with the choice.
yes, like that you were you wanted to be surprised, but unfortunately you were not. If you don't have an answer, we'll move on. I'm just
I don't think
curious.
so. No,
So you were happy with Ben Affleck as Batman? Just out of curiosity.
yeah, I was, I mean, unless I said something to you that I don't remember when
No,
it came
no,
out.
I'm
I
not
was
setting you up. I was just curious.
I was very open to it. I enjoyed him. I know when Batman v Superman came out and people didn't like him, I was like, no, I really liked him as Batman. I really still to this day enjoyed him as Batman. And then it was Justice League that came out, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't like him as Batman. But that was mostly because Joss Whedon is an idiot.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Just real quick, I want to thank TNT 1987. So the character I was thinking about in Street Fighter was Blanca. Yeah, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Also, Sith said, my daughter did that as an April Fool's joke. She put her not impressed pic over the photo in the house. It took us days to notice, talking about like altering family photos. That's hilarious. Not impressed. That's a good one. All right, Max. No, it's me. Hal says the time my parents gave me $20 to spend at the arcade because I got straight A's on my report card. Man, going to the arcade and just having money to spend, like it was just like endless. What felt like endless. What's funny is I had some friends in town visiting, and the two things that they wanted to do: one, eat Mexican, which I'm always down for. The second, because I just moved to Atlanta, so they just want to see some stuff, and they were in vacation mode. So the second thing was, I want to go putt putt. I was like, all right, we can go putt putt. So we went to this indoor putt putt place that was like all like neoned out and black light, all this stuff. But I didn't realize that when we got there, they had an arcade inside. And they had a special. You pay $16, you get a round 18 of golf and a $10 arcade card. So I played some arcade games, and I thought about you because I played uh well, not there, but a different place. I played the Terminator gun game. They didn't have
Yeah.
Time Crisis, unfortunately. I like looked for Time Crisis at the two places we're at, and they unfortunately didn't have it. But
Yeah, I don't see that one around anymore.
yeah, we don't. All right, 35. Over to you, Maxwell.
This is from Jeffrey says, I don't know if I have one.
Well, it's time to make one. Time to make something nostalgic. It doesn't necessarily need to
What's
be.
your favorite memory? I
Yeah.
don't know if I have one.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, sorry.
Let's scroll down and see if they gave us some juice for future stuff. Okay, because there is a second question. We're just not reading them here, so I just wanted to give Jeffrey a little bit of extra screen time. I would like to see you somehow irritate Mad Hatter. Maybe you could make another game show. It's hilarious. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I
Yeah,
feel
we're,
like
we're too good of friends at this point that I can't push him over the edge.
he does always look angry though. He does a good job of selling the fact he may or like I'll be honest, I watched several videos and I was like, I'm not really sure if this guy really is a fan of Maxwell's and he just tolerates him enough. Like he does a good job selling it because I'll be honest, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this guy.
It's I guess it's part of the appeal, okay? I don't know.
Yeah. I do love the vent cover though that he has in his background. That's nostalgia. Love it. Anyways, moving on. All right. All right.
Boy. We're gonna say this
Well,
incorrectly.
yeah, you want to take a stab at that?
Zay Pereira.
Yeah.
Pereira.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You can read this one because the last one's too short for you.
Scroll down a little bit, please.
I got you, fam.
Jerk. All right.
I got you.
Really hard to choose, but maybe the first time I went to Hamleys in London. I was about 5 years old, living in a small island in Portugal. Madeira. I don't know. Going to London and visiting the world's largest toy store blew my 5-year-old mind away. Close second must have been the toy fairs in England and Belgium. Buying TMNT, Micro Machines, Lego, and Action Men from the 60s. At the time, a toy from the 60s for myself, and almost like an ancient pyramid. My father has a toy museum in Portugal. That's why I grew up in the middle of all these toys. And so this is a really, we don't get much. There was like another one earlier, but we don't get a whole lot of this kind of shared experience from other countries. And obviously in the United States, it's just one giant country. And there are, sections of the United States that kind of are different, but we don't get this experience. We don't get to go travel to another country, just, maybe not so easily at the time for you, but you got to try all these different places. And that's going to bring so many different types of nostalgia. It's like you went very specifically to Belgium to buy TMNT toys and micro. Maybe not the reason you went, but like, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I would be curious to know if their father, if that toy store or toy museum still exists. That would be interesting to know for sure. All right. Moving on. Wow, we're making our way downtown.
Hey, Riley Bob.
Riley Bob, I assume this is one of yours as well?
Yeah.
Yep. Says, I first watched Batman 89, rented it at home when I got chickenpox, and was forever a Keaton Batman fan. After I made my parents get as many of the old, I'm going to say Kenner Batman figures.
Yeah, there was Kenner was the brand that made the Batman figures back in the day.
I probably should have let you read this. Sorry. And the Batman VHS, and I would watch it over and over, playing toys in our VHS cabinet, because it made the perfect Batcave, obviously. Oh, good times. Too bad it couldn't have been like, and this is a callback, it could have been your own like Indian in the cupboard where you just put them in there and you open them up and they're alive. Yeah.
And maybe that did happen. Maybe he doesn't want to,
maybe that's why they insinuated the "oh good times," because that is what happened. But no, that's a good one. I love the Keaton Batman movies. I think they're great. And even though they're older, I feel like they age really well for some reason, because you just look at it and you're like, this is a Tim Burton movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. All right. 37.
We're gonna have to hunker down and just go through these.
Yeah.
This is from Toad. Listening to a Backstreet Boys CD on the boombox while cruising down Rainbow Road in Mario Kart 64 with my siblings is peak nostalgia for me. That's a beautiful memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backstreet Boys is very specific. I don't think I was into them or enjoyed them so much at the time, but later in life was like, okay, these guys, they're back, baby.
I personally was more of an NSYNC fan, but that's neither here nor there. All right. Skyfall writes in and says, Christmas at the grandparents', the smell of the food, all of the family there, and of course the gifts. Yeah, I mean, what other nostalgia? Like that hits. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, Maxwell.
Up next, we've got Earthworm Bob, brother
Jim.
to Jim. I remember playing video games so much during sleepovers that we'd get blisters on our thumbs. Controllers weren't nearly as comfortable then as they are now, but we'd wrap our thumbs with bandages and keep playing anyway because video games.
Yeah. A person wrote in, it wasn't this person, but a person wrote in for a future topic I thought would be really cool. And this made me think of it. It said, like, what are your favorite memories from sleepovers? Like, what did you do? What did you watch, play? And what were like your favorite go-to foods and snacks during sleepovers? Or like
favorite sleepover memory is taking home toys for my friend.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got blisters. The only time I got blisters from a video game was when on Sega, when Mortal Kombat came out and you had to mash the buttons to break the boards to test your might.
Yeah,
we just go back and forth like that with our thumb and get blisters because of the buttons.
Yeah, and here's a great one. This is another one, and this one is from AI Collectibles, and it's like right on the same topic, which I love. It says, when having sleepover with my friends, we would put all our GI Joes in a pile and pick through the ones we wanted to play with. Then we would pile our blankets into a mountain on the floor and have battles. It was awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Like a pillow and blanket fort, but with G.I. Joes. I mean, what could be cooler than that?
My brother and I would only play we played realistically with our toys. Okay. So if you had to climb up a wall, like we had this kind of rock wall at our fireplace, so they kind of protrude a little bit, they would actually have to find a spot to grab and then climb up the parts. So whenever I'd go and play with friends that were just like, just like smash like that, I would just be like, oh no, I don't want to
I don't want to do
toys
that
with you. You have to take the arm and move it so that you can punch. You don't just fly across the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Just 3 comments real quick. So from Pizza Gives You Nightmare, Bat Affleck was great. He was the biggest Batman. Wanted to make sure to share this one from Riley Bob as well. It said I had many sleepovers building all night Legos with my friends and showing his parents when they woke up to cook us breakfast. That sounds amazing, honestly. And then we also had, it said, this one's from Pizza, says NBA Jam gave me epic blisters. Got really good though. Well, got to struggle through the pain to get great at NBA Jam. All right, over to you, Maxwell.
This is that K.I. Dalt? Kid Alt?
Yep,
Kid Alt?
Kid Alt.
Okay.
Clever, like that.
Kid Alt. One day I used a box full of yarn to create dozens of colorful zip lines all over my bedroom, and then weaving my way between them all, I'd send each of my Ninja Turtle action figures down each strand one by one. Some would end up by knocking other figures down or knocking over blocks or landing on pillows, or anything else I could come up with. That sounds like a great time.
I have definitely done this. It's kind of the similar thing you would like, kind of like when you string cans together with like a string. I would do the same thing, but I would start with a high point and rope it down to a small point. And because like most action figures, hands are like meant for holding stuff, I would loop them on and just send them down through. And if they didn't make it all the way to the end, I would just throw them aside and start playing with them because they were weak. But anyways, but at least I didn't piss on them, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right. This is from James L. It says, my very first exposure to Batman was at a yard sale in 1986. It says, I wasn't quite 4 years old. They had a blue Avon bubble bath bottle from the 70s shaped like the Batmobile. My 3.5-year-old self would go on a pronounce it as Batmobile. It says the car was too cool to pass up, even though at the time I had never heard of Batman. It says, my dad would end up telling me about the Cape Crusader of Gotham City. Michael Keaton wasn't Batman yet, so I had heard the tales of Adam West. Eventually, my Batmobile would be lost to the sands of time, but my fire to collect all things Batman and DC continued to this day. In 2021, my fiance found another Avon Batmobile for me. And though it's not the original version, I love it all the same. If it hadn't been for the blue plastic Batmobile, who can say what kind of fan I would be to this day? Number 1, great story. Number 2, what kind of fiance do you have that found you another version of that? That is amazing. I love that story. All right.
Wow. Yeah.
Maxwell, look, we're cooking.
Almost. It's a love story.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
All right. This is from Omar G, 1979. Omar, thank you, by the way. Omar said the 80s TMNT intro. Omar, help me out with, what was it? What did I need help with? What did I get? This guy. My Ryu.
Let's go.
Yes.
I just played Ryu yesterday.
Yep. So when I recorded this episode, that song was just constantly in my head for the next 2 days.
Yeah. Did you record the whole episode like you were at a fighting screen? You were just doing this the whole time? That would have taken you a while, right? All right. This one is from Josh. I'm not sure if this is a Josh that I know, because I know several Joshes, as do you probably. But
I like toys.
Oh my gosh. This says too many to pick. A definite favorite, but I vividly recall getting my first TMNT figure in 1988. It was Rocksteady, and I had no idea what TMNT was, but something about the figure spoke to me. to the 6 or 7-year-old me, and I had discovered cartoons shortly after. The TMNT hype really only lasted 3 or 4 years, but I was right at the age where it seemed like it was my entire childhood.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. I similar. I think the years that was probably for a lot of us because quickly it became Batman the animated series and X-Men for me.
Yeah, and I always remember I felt like the show lasted longer, but then when I like go back and when I go back and like look at them, like I really in retrospect, it definitely didn't last as long as I thought it did. You know what I mean?
Well, it's on Plex, and I do recommend jumping through and just looking at how many episodes are available in each season and how much it jumps from season to season. So it'll start off with like 5 episodes in the first or 8 or something, and then there's 19, and then it's like 80 or something.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Does everybody
They started outsourcing them.
So does everybody have access to it on Plex?
What do you mean?
Is it just on
Oh,
Plex?
I'm just telling you because you happen to also.
Okay, I was confused because you can get on and stream some stuff from Plex that they provide, but I wasn't sure if you were referring to that or you were referring to my Plex server. So I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's your special server.
Oh, okay. All right. This one is you, buddy.
Okay, this is Andre from British Columbia, Canada.
Hey, shout out to Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles themed pizza party in my mini mall conference room circa 1991. I was expecting the movie version of Mikey to show up, but it was just a guy in a cheap Ninja Turtle suit. Maybe it was the guy from earlier. So I just well, he was Donnie or something, was he?
Yeah.
So disappointed at the time, but now it's a really special memory. That's amazing, especially that your child brain was like, "This isn't right," you know.
And I know it was well before that time, but now modern day, you would look at it and be like, "That's the Wish version. That is the Wish version of Mikey. Send them back. Send them back." I do want to give this shout out. First time seeing him, I know you remember this person.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, Justin. Hello, it's good to see you.
He's a lifer.
Yeah, 100%. Appreciate you stopping by. If you didn't get a chance to fill out your favorite nostalgic memory on the survey, you could drop yours in the comment. Yeah. Oh, Maxwell says tough shit. I say drop it in the comments and I'll share it anyways because forget Maxwell. All right. Next. Oh, man, we're making. Yeah, look at us. All right. This is from Danny Lee.
Danny Lee really wrote the long one here. Just put it in a little bit.
Yeah. You want to read that one?
I don't mind.
Okay, go ahead. You seemed really wanting to do it, so go ahead.
I don't know. It said Star Wars, and I was excited. All right. So this is from Danny Lee, Danile. When the Star Wars, what is this one? Potf lines came out. What is? No, seriously, I don't know what this.
You would know before I would. I don't know.
I was thinking Phantom of the Menace, but that's an F. Maybe that's a mistake. Unless that's a specific line. P-O.
Well, somebody in chat will come corrected. So
someone help me.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm just gonna say Phantom of the Menace line came out in the 90s. I was already at you're right. It would have been late 90s or mid 90s. I was already at an age.
This person said Power of the Force.
Oh. Well, that makes a lot more sense.
There you go.
All right. Thank you so much, Riley Bob and Lone Star Galaxy in TMNT Universe and everyone in the world that knew this except for me.
I didn't.
I'm such a loser. God, Danny Lee. I'm sorry. Okay. When the Star Wars Power of the Force line came out in the late 90s, I was already at an age where I didn't believe in Santa Claus anymore. That Thanksgiving, my younger brother and I clipped toy photos out of the ads to create our own Christmas list. I wanted the Millennium Falcon more than anything, so I glued it to my page. My aunt, who was the big gift giver, made some comment about Santa seeing what he could do, but I starkly remarked, "Oh, well, I don't believe in Santa." Well, the prankster that she was, she hid one last big box behind the couch on Christmas morning. When it was revealed, there was a note attached to Danny. "You can only open the gift if you believe in me. Love, Santa." The whole family had a big laugh as I scrunched my face in embarrassment, knowing I had set myself up for that. LOL. Words of wisdom to everyone. Don't grow up and always believe in Santa.
That's a
lifetime movie right there.
That's a good one, but part of me wishes it would have went the way that the parents didn't want it to go and said, "Well, I guess you're just gonna throw it in the trash because I'm not saying it." But
I
no,
said
that is
Lifetime movie. That's a Hallmark movie. My
yeah, yeah.
apologies. I screwed up 2 things today.
That's okay. No, that's a really good one. All right.
Oh, Lone Star. I'm Danny Lee. Appreciate you reading my memories. Okay, Lone Star, Danny Lee. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
let's go.
yeah, that
That's
was a good.
awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, this one is from Long John Dingo. Love it. It says, buying an here's a call out for Kmart. So buying an SNES at Kmart in 1992 in New York, games were life as a kid. Grown up, I find them too processed. The guys back then never wore suits. They looked like nerds. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I would say SNES is probably the console that brings the most nostalgia for me. What if you had to just base nostalgia on like the most nostalgia that you would have around a console, what console would it be for you?
Definitely the regular Nintendo. I mean, there's too many games that my brother and I got because my dad owned a pawn shop. So there was like Christmas, we were just getting them every day for many days. And the 1992 tape that I have, it was like every other gift we got was a Nintendo game. Now they were just in the little black sleeve or in nothing.
Yeah.
But we just got so many Nintendo games. It was very, very lucky at the time to be able to have access to those games. But yeah, there was so many times just staying up late, playing these games, playing Battletoads and stuff. It's just so good.
So good. That and makes me think of Double Dragon right away for some odd reason.
Mhm.
Anyways, go ahead. This is yours, buddy.
This is John Starquest, aka Josh West. Josh says, well, John Starquest or Josh Quest. Just play with my action figures. All the adventures my brother and I came up with our real Ghostbusters and TMNT, just all around golden memories that will never be taken away. These are the reasons I collect today, trying to catch and relive those pleasant memories and pass those on to my kids. You're only as old as the kid in your head wants to be. Well, that's a really nice, pleasant way to end that.
Yeah, that was really, I like that a lot. Yeah, action figures, I feel like I don't know. I saw that you got into collecting, and for a split second, I was like, maybe I should do this. And then I started looking at money, and I was like, nah, I don't think this is anything I can do. Because you told me specifically when you very first got into it, and you showed me those the movie like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like how real they look. Because you sent me like up close photos, and I was like, this is unreal. Like I feel like I'm. And you were nice enough to pick up the 4 turtles for me, which I still want to get the other ones. I just haven't done it yet. But and you told me specifically, he said, be careful. It's a slippery slope. And it looks like TMNT Universe can relate. Stay away. The addiction is real. But yeah, so it's so thank you for getting those for me, because you can't see them right now, but I have them up on a corner shelf, and I love them. So thank you so much for that. It says we're all going to end up in toy rehab is what TMNT Universe says. And then it looks like Sith slid in here and said Atari 1600 was the console that they associate with the most nostalgia for them. And then you got a shout out from Pizza Gives You Nightmare for Battletoads. So absolutely there. All right, moving on. We are making our way. We're at 50. Let's go. All right, Aaron Torn says, this is the hospital scene with Harvey Dent and the Joker in The Dark Knight. It really shows how dangerous Joker can be and have a way of talking people in to change themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very powerful moment in that movie, for sure.
It absolutely is. And Maxwell, for you, you're going to have to let them know at some point in time, not now maybe, but what your opinion is better with McFarlane Toys or Marvel Legends. So you're going to have to let them know about that someday. So
Marvel Legends is made by Hasbro. McFarlane Toys is Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
The Todd father. But I just am quickly, really despising Hasbro as a company. Just
throw that out there.
I got a handful of stuff. I love my Aliens Nerf rifle, but it was like completely custom painted and stuff, so it's not really Hasbro anymore. But yeah, they're just as a company and their model, they're so such a wealthy company, and they just crap all over their customers.
Yeah, I heard from watching your show that they don't give the things like they used to, I guess. So
No, but they charge more.
yeah. All right. Oh, look who this one's from. I'll let you read this one.
This is from Terry freaking McCoy, another Nerds with Mike's podcast host for quite some time. Terry says, "Oh, it just had a baby, right?" Or
well, not only did he just have a baby, little Maggie, but also just announced that they are pregnant again and going to have, I think, another baby in November 2023, I think. So
that's, yeah. Congratulations, Terry.
Let's go, Terry. All right.
Terry says seeing the original Spider-Man in theaters as a kid. So we're talking, I mean, we say original.
Oh, he's going Tobey Maguire,
right? Yeah.
That's what he's thinking for sure, 100%.
For us, that's the original.
Yeah. And then Lone Star says, "Toy rehab is for quitters. Never gonna grow up. You can't make me." And then also Justin comes in and says, "NECA figures for the win."
Oh wow! Look at that! Look at the connection that we've had this whole time. We never.
Yeah.
Well, I only started collecting last August, but
yeah,
this is it's great.
And Justin, if you don't know, Maxwell has a new channel, if you haven't been here to find out already, called Nostalgia Unbox, where you can learn all about the things that have to do with collectibles. So
yeah.
All right.
I think you'll enjoy it.
Yes. All right. This one is from Andrew. Okay. It says, "In general, nostalgia hits me the most with the cartoon NECA TMNT figures, specifically with the Pizza Monsters. I had one VHS 2-pack of TMNT cartoons as a kid. Case of the Killer Pizzas and Enter the Fly. I watched that VHS, cut them off. I watched that VHS so many times. I still can't get some of the corny lines out of my head from Fly episode. Leo saying, 'Let's cut off at the pass.' What a lame line. Poor Leo. He didn't get things like, here's Gaza in your eye? Is that it?
Gaza in your eye.
Gaza in your eye. It says that Mikey got to say. It says, and from the episode with the Pizza Monsters, this is the little spoiled brats talking about pizzas. They're probably cold. Let's heat them up in the microwave.
Yeah, which, by the way, is just the funniest thing ever. But those kids were definitely spoiled little punks. They get the pizza as soon as they get them. They take the whole pizza in the box and put it in the microwave. Who does that?
Well, what's the size of that microwave, more importantly?
I know.
I gotta know. It says, I was brought back to those days as a kid. It says, oh, sure, I can watch an episode on DVD now, but figures from those episodes hold a little extra value for them. It says, pull on those heartstrings, especially those Pizza Monsters. Of course, I bought 3, might get more.
That's amazing. Those Pizza Monsters, I don't have one, but dude, they are massive. They are huge. And it's, you may not remember because it's been so long. A lot of the stuff I only remember because of this collection world. The Pizza Monsters are essentially like the Ninja Turtles nod to the Aliens movies. They look like big yellow xenomorphs. They're awesome.
Yeah. Look, Andrew wrote in and said that's his. Let's go.
That's mine.
And then TMNT Universe wrote in and said those figures are good. NECA killed it. And then he also followed it up with saying cold pizza is best.
That's right.
Says, yes, kids. Right away. And then Justin comes in with another channel with Maxwell, sweet voice, talking about collectibles, going deep in my ear holes. Count me
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's this Nostalgia Unboxed. But
yeah.
It's fun.
And I guess these toys have the leg joints aren't as tight as they should be, but otherwise they're great.
Yeah, probably just because they're so big. Like the bigger these boys are, these toys. Toka and Raz are fine, but there were some Monsterverse, Universal Monster crossovers with the Ninja Turtles, and some of the bigger ones like Raphael as Frankenstein's monster. Like those legs, yeah, they just kind of go out because they're too heavy.
This one's you, baby.
Oh, this is from Steve Harvey. Wow, I did not know he was a fan of this show. That's amazing.
I love that.
Steve Harvey from TV's Family Feud says, not sure if this is the true one, but what came to mind was playing Lego Marvel Superheroes on the Xbox 360. Grinding for characters and going for 100% completion was a blast.
TMNT
That's a
Universe chimed in and says, survey says.
survey says.
No, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
So Lego Marvel Superheroes. I never played that, honestly. I don't think I played any of the Lego
Yeah,
things, but
I
I know
actually
they're
went.
good.
They are. Actually, Steam had a sale on all the Lego games recently, and when it came around, when they just released the newest Star Wars like whole Skywalker collection on Steam, they put a lot of their Star Wars or Lego games on sale. I actually bought all of them for the Steam Deck. They're from what I played so far, they're pretty good. I do want to give this shout out, Maxwell, because I feel like it's worth all the collectible people seeing. It's a great idea, and if you haven't thought of this already, I can't believe you haven't done this, Maxwell.
Well, I love this. Okay, so Pizza Gives Me Nightmares says, I custom painted an alien figure yellow to be like a pizza monster. So my stupid little brain, my little art guy brain, it's like, I'm going to do something different, something that hasn't been done before. Okay? That's what my stupid art brain says. So I thought about doing this, and then I was like, I'm going to Google it. Apparently NECA made one. It was like a limit. I don't know if it was like a con exclusive or something, but they made a freaking yellow one, dude. They look so awesome. I would love to see yours. And I don't mean to take any power away from your custom one, but I don't think they're probably easy to find at all right now. But they're made by the same people at this point. But yeah, you get this alien universe. It's like a nod to the cartoon of Ninja Turtles, which was originally a nod to the Alien movie. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, thank you for the shout out, Sith. 8 likes on the stream. We can do better. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, and then also said San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. This next one is from jasonharder.com. It says enacting Star Wars A New Hope with my R2-D2 and Chewbacca figures on the dashboard of my dad's car while he watched the movie at the drive-in in 1980 or 1977. That right there. I mean, it wasn't a long one, but that one hits.
Yeah.
I sometimes
Obviously,
wish
not something we got to experience because we were born in 84.
Yes.
But man, there are certain things like that. Like,
yeah.
What is out now that has that kind of impact for somebody?
I know. That's what I was going to say. Like, I wasn't trying to take a stab at their age, but like, sometimes I wish that I was old enough to experience things like that, because like seeing that when it originally came out to the universe that that's created and the fan base that that's created would just be really something cool to see, I think.
God.
All right. 55 out of 58, baby. Let's go. All right, go ahead.
This is from Alvin Monk 500. They say watching Animaniacs for the first time via channel surfing back in middle school. I am also very excited to meet Rob Paulson this weekend at Sci-Fi ValleyCon. Well, that's going to be awesome. So congratulations on that opportunity. But Animaniacs, dude, wow, those are some good memories too. Jeez, I was super pumped whenever they were going to bring that, or when they did bring it back. And I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, it just doesn't feel the same. Then I just didn't watch anymore.
I'll say the same thing about the show that you said. However, that intro still hits for me though, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's see here. Call out a couple comments since we're wrapping up here. It says, Andrew, it says, I'm thinking about getting another pizza monster and paint it in the style of the Mirage comics, which
that'd be cool. Sweet. Yeah. The Mirage style is really cool. It's got a lot of looks like the inked outlines and stuff throughout it. So they're really cool.
It says, Pizza Gives You Nightmare and says, yeah, mine's better though. I'll tag you in Party Wagon. Okay,
yeah, please do. I definitely want to. I love looking at custom stuff. So please do.
And then Lonely Star Galaxy says, I have a vintage Chewie that sits in my car's center console as my co-pilot. I hope its arms. I hope its arms are just like constantly up in the air though. I think that would be hilarious. And then let's see here. Sis says, hey Jason, maybe you were at the same drive-in. That's good. And then Andrew says, I love the Animaniacs and connection with TMNT too. I was unaware of this. Are you aware of this?
No, I took that as like, I love Animaniacs and I also like the connection with TMNT.
Oh, okay.
So if there was some crossover,
they didn't have a crossover. Okay.
And if there is, then please share.
Yeah, I need to know, and then you also need to drop in there with that what episode that is, because I need to
Yeah.
watch that if that actually existed.
Today I got a lot of gifts sent to me on Twitter that were like happy birthday gifts, and it was from The Simpsons, where there's a bunch of people there's 4 people dressed for I don't know who's, probably Bart's birthday party or something. They're dressed as Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I need to go back and watch that episode.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you go ahead and read this one as well?
You know what? I will.
Oh, Sega Dreamcast, though. I kind of wish I would have read it.
Oh, we're getting some answers here. I got distracted.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. I'll read it while you look through the answers, and you.
Oh, no. I mean, I just mean like let's go to the chat, and then I'll read this thing.
Okay. Yeah, got you. All right. Let's see here. It says, well, this is something else. This is Rob. Oh, he's the connector. It's like 7 bacons of
7 bacons of Kevin.
It's really it's like two degrees of Rob. Also,
yeah,
is what it is.
All right.
So it was the link was voice acting, right?
Yeah,
and
all
also it seems like it was this character as well, right?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. All right, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Makes so much more sense. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Maxwell.
All right, this is from Mark Tyler, or at PEH finale. I don't know where that's at. Probably Twitter. They say to pick one nostalgic memory over the course of 37 years is hard, but I'm going to go with playing Shenmue on the Sega Dreamcast in 2000 because it stuck with me so much that when I visited Japan 18 years later, I was flooded with the most bizarre sense of nostalgia. Nostalgia for locations that I had only ever previously seen rendered in 128 bits on a fuzzy CRT television. That is a beautiful, beautiful story. Did you play Shenmue?
I played Shenmue. Yeah, it was great.
Okay.
I don't know though. I've always called it Shenmue, but you've also went to Japan, so maybe you would know better.
Yeah.
However, no, I played. The only one I didn't play was the newest one that was released on Xbox, but I played Shenmue 1 and 2 on Dreamcast, and it was the first game that I ever played that I actually had to go and do a job for a certain amount of time in the game before I could move on with the rest of my life. You actually went and did a job. I was a forklift driver, and I was the best damn forklift driver ever. And I won all the races that I had to do in my forklift. So, but yes, to say that I played that game is an understatement. But yes, I loved it.
Beautiful. Well, now you got to go to Japan and see if you get some nostalgia.
Only if I can drive a forklift will I go.
Oh, that's right. You're like, something's missing.
Yeah, my friend Alex, my friends Alex and Allie. Well, you know Alex and Allie. They just got back from their first trip into Japan, and they were there for 2 weeks. And I quote, I asked Alex, I said, because he's traveled to a lot of different places, and I said, well, I have to know, is it your favorite one? And he said, that place is truly magical. He's like, it's by far my favorite vacation. So
yeah, I can't imagine it now with technology and stuff that we have now, but in 2005 it was just another world.
Yeah, I mean, they did everything from like the Tokyo scene, but also going to the very historical places, to the part where they were actually in robes and sitting and learning the whole tea process of spinning the bowl and taking it and all that stuff. And they even went to a bathhouse, like all sorts of stuff. So they
probably said 2 weeks wasn't enough.
Oh yeah, I would agree. However, I will say, live on the air, all I wanted Alex to do, my only request, well, 2 things really. One was for him to go do karaoke, because he told me here I would never find him doing karaoke. I said, well, if you're in Japan, you have to do karaoke.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, absolutely not going to happen. Not going to happen. And like the day before they left for their trip, I wake up, because they're obviously time difference, right? So I wake up to a text from them in a group chat of 2 pictures of Alex holding a microphone. I'm like, yes. I was like, you have to be kidding me. And I actually saw Alex today. We watched the Apple event together. And I said, I have to know. I said, was that photo superimposed, or did you actually do karaoke? And he was like, no, I did it. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that makes me really happy.
And then I also told him he had to bring me back the weirdest thing that he found in one of those weird vending machines because they have all kinds of weird stuff.
So you got some used panties or something?
Well, he forgot to give me whatever he got me. So I don't know yet. And I didn't want to know. I want it to be a surprise. Interesting. Yeah. But anyways, all right, moving on. All right, so 57 out of 58. Let's go. All right, Maxwell.
All right, just a goldfish with a 0 instead of an O. Says early 1990s, walking up to the toy aisle with my mom looking for and not finding the 1990 Playmates April O'Neil. My mom quickly finds an employee and asks if they have any boxes in the back. The Target employee brings out an unopened box, sets it on the floor, opens it up. Sure enough, one April in the box with a sword of turtles surrounding her. One of the best feelings, never even touched the shelf. That's a good memory, man. And you got to go back and thank your mom like 100 times because it stuck with you this much. And it's all because your mom said, "You got any more in the back?"
Yeah.
Which, if you've ever worked retail, you hate when people ask you
Oh,
that.
no, everything's on the floor. That's everything's on
Yeah.
the floor.
Yeah. But if it's at the Target or a Walmart, it's probably in the back because nobody
Yeah.
brought it out.
Yeah, no, that's a great story. I remember when I was, like I said, I read like the first part of these just to make sure none of them were troll comments, and I read the first part of this one, and when I read Playmates, I had to remember that that was like a toy brand because at first I was like, wait, I was like, what's this about? And I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Naughty.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, oh, okay, Centerfold with April O'Neil. I didn't know that existed. But anyways. All right, it's time to get to the last one. So this one is from old Dirty Sal.
Nice.
This one says, playing The Legends of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Oh, so sweet. As a child with my father, he had passed away in September 2021. So this memory really means a lot to me.
No.
So it's good though that you have that memory though. You know what I mean?
No.
And I can imagine just going back and like playing that game, it probably just takes you back to that moment in time. I think that's the thing I love about nostalgia is like it's like a certain thing, whether it be a video game, the sound of music, when a character comes on screen, when a movie theme song plays, that just teleports you literally to that moment in time. I think that's what I love about nostalgia is it's like almost like there's certain things that's just frozen in time in our mind, and it only takes that small little thing to take us back to that place.
Dude, scents. There's some scent. I don't know what it is, but when I smell it, I am a child instantly in my bedroom with the window open playing Beavis and Butthead on the Sega.
Dude, that game was hard, low key.
Yeah. It's one of those games that, talk about not beating a game. That was one where in my adult life, I would watch some playthrough video on YouTube to see what the heck you're supposed to do and how the game ended.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Look, now it's just back to us.
Oh, wow. It's like a different experience altogether. Let's do this for another hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well, number one, two things before I go any farther, because I think we're going to share some quick memories. We're going to give our nostalgia nod of the week for everyone, our own personal ones. But before we go any farther, I would be remiss to say that I appreciate everybody for the engagement that we've had throughout this entire 2 hour and 2 minute episode so far of live stream. I know people's come and gone, and that's completely cool. But I don't think we've had, until now, we have 10 viewers, but most of the time it's been from 15 to 20 some. So can't thank you enough. But also, Maxwell, thank you for being a rock star and staying on this whole stream. I know it was a lot to read, and I said, either we read them all or we don't read them at all. You know what I mean? Because like I want everybody to get some time to share those memories because these things are important.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Trust me, dude. I know it. And these are like really important memories. When I did my AMA thing and people filled out, I only had 21, but the chat was like constant on YouTube, and that was just one source. I don't stream anywhere else, and I answer and talk to every comment. So I'm like reading these things, and then I'm like, okay, I'm like 20 minutes behind in the chat or something, but I hate not being able to reply to stuff. So today I was getting these comments that were like, oh, I guess I can't, like comments are getting deleted. I guess I can't share stuff or whatever. And this was a person that had commented a few times. And suddenly I was like, well, all your comments are here, but they were sharing links and stuff. And I guess like YouTube's like, no, we're not going to let that happen. But I do my best to reply to every single comment, at least the initial comment. Maybe not if we start chatting too long. I might eventually be like, yeah, I have to stop. But yeah, there's something in me that just really feels, I love the engagement. I love connecting with people. So yeah, it's hard to pass any of them up.
And I think the thing is too, is like the fact that everyone took the time to reply to that. But not only that, but like when I look at these memories, that's like them letting us into a little piece of their life. You know what I mean? And I just think that's really, really cool. And everybody was like very candid. And even if it wasn't anything huge, to me, it's a big deal because you took the time to share it. So I really do appreciate it. So, all right. So let's get into, well, first of all, Maxwell, let's talk about, now that we don't have our screen being shared, let's talk about some of your top nostalgic memories that you have, and then I'll share, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't want to linger too long on this because anybody that's still here, like Sith and TMNT Universe and pizza gives me what is it?
Nightmares,
not diarrhea. So
that's coffee.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too long about all that stuff. We shared a lot throughout because of these things, like triggering moments and stuff for us. Good triggers, and the two biggest nostalgic memories are probably playing Nintendo with my brother that I talked about earlier, looking over, if it was a single player game, looking over and seeing his faces while he's playing the game and getting more entertainment out of his gamer faces, like like a tongue action, man. That was more entertaining than the games half the time, or just playing 2-player games. Anytime we got something that was like a alternating 2-player, God, that was the worst, man. It says 2 players. We didn't know it, that we had to look for co-op. But yeah, that, and then a lot of single nostalgic memories of playing Super Metroid.
Yeah. So I have a few. So mine, obviously, I talked about earlier, playing Super Metroid with my dad. My dad is my stepdad, but to me, he's always been my dad, right? He's been in my life since I was 7 or 8, right? I don't know my real father, so, and then the person that was in my life before that was not a great person, right? So, one of my first memories of him, and he's younger, right? Like I mean, I think he's probably like, I don't know, 6 to 8 years younger than my mom. So when I was 8, he was still kind of young, right? So like, I remember meeting the first time he had like a Super Nintendo and all these games. And like, while I did play Nintendo and stuff ahead of time, it was really him that got me into games because it was something that I did with someone else, as opposed before it was almost like this was a escape from the situation that I was in, or a place that I can go to kind of disappear for a little bit because of how life's going. But it became something that I did as a bonding experience as opposed to something I did to isolate myself. You know what I mean? And I may be oversharing, but like, that's really for me where I kind of really dove into gaming, is when it became more of a way to connect with somebody else as opposed to disappear from the world. If that makes sense.
No, that's beautiful. And that's not oversharing. There's a lot of people that have, I'm sure, some kind of similar thing, and being able to talk about this stuff is it's good. It's healthy for even people to hear that other people experience it.
Yeah. So when I say that my dad left and never came back with milk, that's real talk. It just so happened it was before I was born, so that's neither here nor there. But anyways, I had to lighten things up a little bit. But that also the live action TMNT movies. Say what you want about them, but like, I love them. I will take them over a lot of other movies that were in that time frame. I love them. The art style, just everything about it, the soundtrack, just young Ryan Reynolds as a punk, like, that's fine too.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in the original TMNT live action movie as like one of the, I'm almost positive he's in it. Somebody can correct me. I'm sure they'll come.
Like a throwaway character?
Yeah. He's like in a background scene. He's not like,
because we got
or maybe it's Paul Rudd. No, I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds is in it. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Let me check chat real quick. Hold on. Sam Rockwell's in it. Yeah, I knew that.
That's not who you're talking about, right?
No, it's
Sam
not.
Rockwell's like menthols or regulars or whatever.
No, but I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure it's Ryan Reynolds. I'm almost positive, and somebody can look while I'm talking. But anyways, so Super Metroid, Super Punch Out, the old TMNT movies, I love them so much. But also, I think a big sense of nostalgia for me is just being with family. You know what I mean? Like, and it's really changed how I've felt about this, like, recently, because I was an only child for 32 years of my life. And then my parents adopted 3 children. So now I'm one of 4. And I don't have kids myself, but my siblings are younger. They range from like 8 to 15, almost 16, right? So now I'm more mindful about what kind of memories can I create so that they have nostalgia memories when they think back when they're my age.
Yeah.
So anytime I'm with them, like last time I went home, I took my Steam Deck. I had Shredder's Revenge on it. I had the Cowabunga collection. And you best believe that we were all on the couch playing those games. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because I think the thing is, you're like, there, everything's a digital world now, right? Like, which is cool and all, but like, I think some things are too complicated and you just need to take a step back. And that's kind of what I try to do when I'm spending time with them. You know what I mean?
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
going to share my similar story. So when I was a kid, my stepfather, because my dad was a poopy butthole man.
Maybe that's why we bond so well.
Yeah, probably. My stepdad and I would stay up super late playing San Francisco Rush
Oh
on
my
the
God. Don't even say it.
N64.
Oh, that's,
You could
see,
put
I
a
forgot
code
about it.
in.
Yeah.
You could put a code in and have
Shh.
tag mode. What?
That's what they say. Say Rush.
Oh, I thought you
That's what,
shushed me.
no, as the Rush, they say it like they're
Yeah.
whispering it almost. It's great.
Yes,
Go
yes,
ahead.
yes. So you could have a tag mode if you put the code in. So you just drive around the open world map essentially and just smash into each other and turn and tag. It was incredible, but we'd stay up until 2 a.m. playing
Yeah.
that. So now when I'm playing with my girlfriend's son, Phoenix, we for many years, I mean, he was like obsessed with Fortnite, man. He was like middle school obsessed
Yeah.
as any
Hard in
middle
the
school
paint.
kid in the early days of Fortnite, you know. But now he's playing all kinds of stuff, Apex, Call of Duty and stuff. And he's an incredible gamer. But we have played so many times, staying up late. We'd get 2 TVs in the living room and we would play Fortnite or Overwatch or something. We're just like playing for hours. And then when Last of Us 2 came out and he was playing that, and we stayed up really, really late. And then the next day he had to go back because he lives with his dad. So he went back, and the next day he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna play the game. I can screen share." So we're just sitting there. I got headsets on, and I'm watching him play while he's in another state. And again, till like 2 a.m, him beating that game because
I
there's
love
like
that.
4 endings to Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
So I think about it all the time. Like, are these going to be those lasting memories that he thinks about when he's 39 that I think about with my stepdad?
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
That's really
Yeah.
good. No, I like that a lot. I the only other one I'll mention, because I have too many to talk about, and we're almost at 2 hours and 15 minutes, but it's actually one with you. It's all the times we'd spend time, because we were both gamers at the time. We would play games online at times, but there would be moments you would just come up, because I'm pretty sure I had a fairly large like game collection at the time. Now I'm all digital, so I don't have any physical media hardly at all anymore, which I know for collectors is not what you want to hear. But when it comes to like games and stuff, when I travel, I just want to be able to take it all with me. But anyways, is those nights or those days that you would just come up to, because I was living in the attic, so there's like no windows.
Yeah.
I would wake up at like noon and not even know what time of the day it is because I see no sunlight. Like, but there would be those days that like we were just at the house not doing anything, and instead of you just sitting in your room, you would just like come up and you would just sit and watch me play games, like
Yeah.
games that you never had intent in playing. And I see that you've carried this over to what's his name? Phoenix now, that you kind of do the same thing. And it would all be like games that like you had interest in, but you never planned on playing. Like I know you probably watched me play through the Uncharted games. Like there's so many different games you probably watched me play through. But when it came to certain games, like we play in Gradius, you best believe we're 2-player in it. Or if there's something you're like, yeah, let me get in on that, we would play games together. So some of my favorite memories are just honestly kicking it with you and playing games, because we would do, there was 3 things you could always count on us doing. 1, hanging out and playing video games. 2, eating wings somewhere.
And 3, we're going to say it together.
You're not going to say pawn shops?
No, but that is a good one.
Oh, no,
we would go with a P. I was going to say
pooping?
Peanut butter. Pooping. Also
no.
Pooping in the trash cans.
No, we love peanut butter.
Peanut butter milkshakes. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, peanut butter milkshakes. Yeah, he says that because I burnt up our blender in the fridge, or our blender in the kitchen, because I forgot to put milk in a milkshake, which is ice cream and peanut butter, and that was not enough. It burned it up. But anyways, No, Maxwell and I had a weekly habit of going to pawn shops, seeing
Yeah.
what games and Blu-rays we could buy, because we visited those stores so often that they would basically give us deals like, oh, you buy two, you get one free, or oh, I'll just give you this fourth one for free, and it just so happened we would have this route that we would just run every week. And our DVD collection got fairly large. I don't know how much of that you still have, but when I moved to St. Louis, I sold it all. But
Yeah. Nothing.
but honestly, that's one of mine, is just hanging with you. And I hate that, like, I mean, we still talk for the most part, but I think more so often the past few months we've talked a fair amount, which I love. And I'm coming to see you in July, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, like, and we also always made it a habit to go to midnight movies too, like, you know. But yeah, that's my last one. Did you have any other ones?
Oh man, well, I can't one up that. What
Yeah,
a solid.
All mine were kind of pulling the heartstrings, and the last one I saved for you, and then let you talk last. So go ahead. If you don't have anything, that's fine. That one just came to my mind, honestly.
Well, just if we're just gonna talk about like good times together, going to Applebee's. So this is a fun one for anybody that's still here. We got 10 people watching. We would go to Applebee's. We didn't work at the same place anymore, so we just go on our lunch hours and eat
Get
at
them half
Applebee's.
price apps, babies.
That's right. It's a good time. Sometimes we'd just get a couple apps and split them.
Yeah.
And then sometimes
sharing is caring.
Right. We'd get some, like, they took away the peppercorn steak and we were really upset about that. But we would get like a basket of boneless wings. There'd be like one wing left, and we're like, I don't know who's supposed to have the last one.
I can't.
So we would split the wing. It's just like, that's fine. We'll just split the last one, and we don't know how our account got off. We split the last wing. We each get a half boneless wing, and then we look down, and there's a whole other wing in there. So what do best friends do? But split another wing.
We did that more times than I can count, to be fair. It didn't just happen once.
So best friends are the kind of friends that will split the last two wings into cut the last two wings into half, so you each get half the last two wings.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's go through the last of the comments that we have, and then what we'll do is we'll move to our nostalgic nod pick of the week. Oh God, God, I'm just saying
not pick
all
of the week
things.
anymore.
Yeah, my bad. Listen, it's nostalgia. I just said pick of the week, right?
Oh, that's cute.
But anyways, so let's see here. Oh, Justin confirmed that Ryan Reynolds is in TMNT too, so suck it. And that was to you, Maxwell, no one else.
Wait, you got to read that last one.
I'm getting there. And then TMNT Universe said that's awesome. And then this said it will be lasting and meaningful. Let's see here. You guys have good memories. We definitely do. And then the Lone Star Galaxies, the never-ending chicken wing basket. 100%. And the Pizza Gives Me Nightmares says, this was fun. I'm going to pee on my NECA collection in case. That's a great, thanks for bringing that back around. And you know what, oddly enough, it's my stepdad that did that. And luckily, I never actually picked up on that. Maybe I should have did it with my game consoles and my controllers, but that's why Maxwell always watched me play.
Oh, don't touch touch the first player.
I'm just in there, just weeing all over the place. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our nostalgic nod of approval. Maxwell, I can go first. I know earlier. No. Do you have some?
Mine's simple. It's just it's just gonna be the same thing I've said many times today, which is actually I'm gonna change it.
Oh,
I was gonna play. I was gonna say do Super Metroid. However, in relation to my most recent video, I'm gonna recommend anybody's got Max, as it's called. It's not HBO Max anymore. Go look up this Studio Ghibli film, Nausicaa. Okay, Nausicaa. This is one of the greatest animes. It's came out in 1984, so the year we were born.
I was waiting for the nostalgic tie-in because I was curious.
It came out in March. of
Okay.
1984, by the way.
All right,
And
let's go.
it is packed with 80s sci-fi just storytelling and epicness, and it's so fantastic. I highly recommend it. And I've had people that are like, "Oh, I never got into anime or whatever." It's fine. I'm still not huge in anime. I love Dragon Ball Z.
I was
I've
just
watched a
talking to
few other
somebody about that
things,
today, actually.
but these are like those anything from this studio is just a fantastic movie. It's just like, it's just good.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
All right. Another game that maybe as soon as you pulled that out, the first thing that came to my memory was Pilot Wings on SNES. If you've ever played Pilot Wings, but I realized the hang glider was upside down because it's not a hang glider.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, this
Yeah,
is not.
Yeah. Let's see here. I don't know if you want to read this one, Maxwell. I don't.
It actually lights up. Nausicaa's probably my second favorite Studio Ghibli film, and Princess Mononoke is my first. Yeah, I think this is quickly becoming my first, and for a long time was Spirited Away. That was my first. So I think this is slowly taking first place, putting whatever I just said.
Yeah, and then
I can't do
here
two things
is
at once.
yeah, that's cool. And then here is another one here for you.
Wasn't there a 112 bird figure based on that show too? It was pricey, but I considered getting it put next to it. All right, so listen. I think there are two like companies making some Nausicaa stuff. So this is Bandai Spirits or whatever, like this is how it's listed on Big Bad Toy Store. But they did this one, which is a little tiny little 2.5-inch figure, like 1/24 scale, which I was real sad about. And then they do make one with Yupa, which is the guy that Patrick Stewart voices in the movie. And it comes with those two big bird things that are like human size. They can ride them. But that's also really tiny like this. But there's another company making stuff, and I don't know if they have a bird or not, but they're like super expensive. They have some of the armored figures that have helmets, you don't know their faces and stuff. But that looks good.
Yeah.
And I think it's 112. But
okay, cool. All right. Well, mine is honestly, for those of you that never played anything on Super Nintendo, mine would just to be simply go back and play something on Super Nintendo, whether it be Super Metroid, Super Punch Out, Super Mario World, Pilot Wings, Castlevania, Super Castlevania, any of the Mega Mans. I haven't even name dropped Mega Man, and I'm surprised we didn't see any Mega Man come up, but anything Mega Man, anything Gradius, anything Legends of Zelda on Super Nintendo, especially Link to the Past. If you have not played Link to the Past, one of the best Legends of Zelda games. But yeah, that would be my nostalgic nod of approval. Well, let's go ahead and close the show. Maxwell, I want to give you an opportunity for those of you that might be watching that don't already know who you are, maybe join later in the stream or go back and watch this at a later date. I would love for you to let everybody know where they can find you. And just, what do you got to add?
I'm essentially everywhere. Nostalgia Unboxed. I have like my personal accounts and stuff I don't really use. I have to for Facebook, I guess, because Facebook's the fucking worst. But I just jump into like a couple NECA groups, really just the turtle ones. But yeah, YouTube, that's kind of my whole jam. And in Twitter, I spend a lot of time over there because I just love engaging. There's a whole collector community over there that is collectors helping collectors. It's like it's a whole hashtag, and it's just to help other collectors that are looking for things, and you don't pay anything beyond retail. You just pay retail plus shipping. Even if something's a little bit older, obviously, if there's something that's like super expensive these days, it's not so much. But there's so many things that I've gotten after the fact that are just retail prices. I don't overpay, sometimes less than that or whatever. People are just trying to get rid of stuff, but it's amazing. It's a really great community.
Very cool. Well, like I said, thank you, everybody.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Because we got to get this on the internet.
Okay.
Read the comments.
Oh, hold on. I didn't see that. Let me see. All right. It says, send you a pic in Instagram of me in the Donatello suit. Okay. Let me see here. Hold on a second, Maxwell. Let me see if I can make this work. Go ahead and just say.
Oh no, it's a link. Oh, I had to accept it. Probably that's probably why.
Can you forward me that in to my well, I don't know if this will work. Can I look at messages on the website? I don't know if I can or not.
God. I'll just hold it up to the camera. It's not the camera quality is,
let's go. Oh, that's perfect. Let's go.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that suit looks low-key pretty good quality. Yeah, that's awesome.
Dang, especially back then, for not being an official one, that's epic.
Yeah, that is epic. Yeah, that's awesome.
The Walmart Donatello.
Man, they miss their calling at showing up at people's pizza parties, because I'm sure the person that got the Wish version of Mikey would have much rather had the legit version of Donatello show up.
Yeah, for real.
I mean? All right. Well, so for me, the only thing that I have is I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart, and just this has been a great stream. We don't typically do streams this long, or episodes for this long for that matter. But I do thank everybody that's came, not only from the nerds channel, but also from Nostalgia Unboxed. You guys are family as well. Maxwell's family to me, so anybody Maxwell loves, I'm obviously gonna love. But if you don't already subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast, feel free to do so. For those of you that come here for nerds content, make sure that you follow Maxwell at his YouTube page, Nostalgia Unboxed. That would be awesome. We're on all social medias. We just started a TikTok that we're going to try to get to 1,000 people on, because we'll be able to live stream there. I'm not a huge TikTok fan. However, that is another platform we want to try to get to. But also, you can reach out to us, the email at podcast@nerdswithmics.com. One thing that we don't talk about a lot, we also have an actual website, nerdswithmics.com, where we upload our content. We also write articles and review games. We're starting to get more into that more frequently. And then also, one thing I want to mention that's not about me, but it's about Maxwell, is Maxwell also has a merch store that he sells stuff as well. Not only that he creates, but also stuff that he puts on t-shirts, mugs, all sorts of things as well. So wanted to make sure that you all knew about that as well. So if you don't already follow him, make sure you do so. Maxwell, is there anything else? Oh, I did want to address something real quick that Justin had sent in the chat a while back. Let me see if I can find it. He was asking us, and I had mentioned that we are starting a Discord. I have finished the Discord, and next episode I'll make sure to share out the link or the QR code for everybody to join, and I'll put it in our description. I was trying to set up some channels. I've never really set up a Discord before, so I was trying to just create a place for us to come, a safe place for everybody that can just chat and chill, even on times when we're not doing the podcast at times. So more details to come on that. But yes, we have not forgotten about that. It is set up, but more details to follow. Maxwell, is there anything else that you would like to add? And also, thank you, Sith, for the subscribe. I really do appreciate it. All right, Maxwell, anything else?
That's the third time you asked me. I just want to make sure that you weren't going to.
Yeah, no, it is the last time. I was trying to figure out getting all these comments and everything done before.
I don't have anything else. It's been really long. This is 2.5 hours or something.
It's past your bedtime. Let's be honest.
Oh, big time. I'm a sleepy little girl. So I love the community. People come from channels and YouTube, Facebook, all these places. I can't get over how much these people mean to me. So thank you all the time. Thank you.
I'd hit you with one of those. Well, anyways,
it's great.
I am Travis, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Maxwell, I am Jonathan. Thank you for stopping by.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you, and everybody have a good one. See ya.